Local people, local events, local television. Take a look at what's on Longmont's Channel 3 this fall. Watch the Longmont Trojans, Skyline Falcons, and Niwot Cougars go into battle on the IBM Game of the Week. Tattoos to Skydiving, the new monthly program Channel 3 Profiles, goes inside the lives of people around our community. Host Nada Fisher highlights city programs and services on City Scene. Watch these and other great programs on Channel 3, the Longmont Channel.
Are you in a hurry and not willing to stand in line at the bank to get a little extra cash? No problem. At First National Bank of Longmont, we have 6 convenient ATM locations to serve you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. This means you can get cash anytime. Of course, there are no ATM transaction fees for any First National Bank of Longmont customer. This is just one way we can show you that we are here for you anytime. First National Bank of Longmont, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Hi, welcome to Rocky Mountain Paint and Body. My name is Casey. How can I help you today?
Since 1970, Rocky Mountain Paint and Body has been a family-owned and operated business in Longmont. We pride ourselves on being not only active in the Longmont community, but also for our exceptional customer service. We offer written warranties and use only high-quality DuPont paints. We come trusted and recommended by insurance companies and dealers. What we offer is quality, service, and integrity. Let us help you get through the insurance maze.
Channel 3 Sports presents the IBM Game of the Week. From a sunny Everly Montgomery Field, the Skyline Falcons have come across town to face the Longmont Trojans in a game that actually means something. Of course, it's a crosstown rivalry, so it's always a big game for both of these teams. But this year, Greg, if Skyline wins, they get to go to the playoffs for the first time since 1988.
Well, the Skyline's a team that we've shown has played with emotion throughout the season and have played very well. They've got every reason to play emotionally well today in this game.
Well, last time we saw them play was against Niwot, the start of the Northern Conference season. Skyline, Coach Bob Napton said his team, that was the worst game of the year for them. Since then, though, they've run off 2 in a row. Their last 2 games they've won, and it gives them a chance on a short week here to go to the playoffs if they win this game. So they're definitely playing much better and have made some changes to their starters.
Well, when they started Northern Conference play, they ran into a little bit of trouble, but they've turned that around, put themselves in a good position to have this game really mean something for them today.
For the Longmont Trojans, they are the Northern Conference champs. They'll be home here for a playoff game next week. So we do know that this is a team, though, that can go undefeated 10-0 for the first time in a number of years.
Well, the last time they were undefeated was 1991, and that was brought up in practice on Tuesday. Coach Kramer pointed out that none of these guys on this field had been on an undefeated team during the regular season, and if that wasn't reason enough to come out here and play, maybe the fact that it was crosstown rival Skyline also would help them. So the Trojans trying to go 10-0 on the season.
Let's take a look at our Northern Conference standings now. Starting things off on top, again, Longmont is the conference champions. 4-0, 9-0 overall. They want to make that 5-10. Greeley West is at 3-2, 6-4 overall. They have a chance to go to the playoffs. We'll talk about those scenarios in just a little bit. Greeley Central 3-2, 5-5. They will not go to the playoffs. Skyline at 2-2. They have a chance also at 5-4. Niwot, they wind up 2-3 in conference, 7-3 overall. A very good season, but somewhat of a letdown for Niwot, who started off real strong, won their first 5, but unable to go to the playoffs. In Thompson Valley there, no wins in conference, and overall 1-9. So this is a game where Longmont can go undefeated. If Skyline wins it, they get a chance to go to the playoffs. So a very important crosstown rivalry game. Let's take a look now at our key players, and we'll start off with the Skyline Falcons. On defense, that's number 47, Jason Allison. He's the middle linebacker. Going to have to do some run support, definitely, in this game.
Well, Longmont's going to bring a 3-prong running attack with Joe Chrisman, Sean Wing, and then Sean Garcia. So run support in this ball game. They're going to want to make Longmont try to throw the ball Longmont has not thrown well, so if they can stop the run, Jason's got to play a big part of that.
And the key player on offense, another Jason Eagle, and the quarterback. Now, definitely this is a straight-ahead running team, this Skyline, but they need to throw the ball well to mix things up to keep the Trojans honest on defense.
Well, a lot of teams know that Skyline wants to run the ball, and if you can shut down that running game, you've got to throw the ball well if you're Jason England, try to get some of that pressure off that running game.
Coach Bob Napton knows that his Skyline team is doing real well. They have this 2-game winning streak. They want to keep it going. And Coach Gordon Kramer, all he could talk about this week was how good Skyline was. We'll take a break. We'll come back, talk about playoff scenarios, and have key players and the keys to the game right after this on the Longmont Channel 3 Game of the Week.
For the best bargains under the sun, it's the Front Range Indoor Flea Market. 20,000 square feet of collectibles, antiques, and new furniture, like these orthopedic Type 2 mattress sets starting at $169. Fully assembled chest from Purdue Woodworks starting at $49.88. Dinette sets starting at $139. Sofa love seat sets from $489. Unbelievable deals 7 days a week at the Front Range Indoor Flea Market, 1420 Nelson Road, just off the Diagonal Highway.
At Herbert Motors in Longmont, we've set our goals high with a commitment to provide every customer with the highest level of service in the automotive marketplace at no extra cost to you. Before, during, and after the sale, Herbert Motors is dedicated to your complete satisfaction. We call it red carpet treatment. And at Herbert Motors in Longmont, it's not just a slogan, it's the only way we do business. Experience red carpet treatment for yourself. Stop into Herbert Motors on the Diagonal at Sunset in Longmont.
Most people know that chiropractic treatment can relieve pain resulting from a job-related injury or auto accident. But at Stately Chiropractic, we do more than just get rid of pain. We're a holistic healthcare practice concerned with your family's total wellness. We concentrate on keeping your family healthy and are successful in treating many common ailments such as ear infections, migraine headaches, and chronic low back pain. Enjoy good health and call us today at Stately Chiropractic.
And back here to sun-drenched but very windy Everly Montgomery Field. A whole lot different from last week's game. Was some snow?
A little drier.
A little drier anyway. Let's talk about playoff scenarios real quick. For the Skyline Falcons, as we've been saying, they have to win. They get in because of a tiebreaker whereby they and Greeley West, who did win a game over Thompson Valley, they and Greeley West wind up with the same conference record. So what the next tiebreaker is, the team that beat the #1 team or had the best game against the #1 team in the conference, Longmont, would go to the playoffs. So ergo, I should say, if Skyline wins, they go to the playoffs to face the #1 Centennial team, conference team. Now, for Longmont, it's very simple. They've wrapped everything up. They will play a game here next week against either Pueblo South or Pueblo Centennial, a game that is wrapping up just as we speak. So that is what the playoff scenario is. So a chance for Skyline to get back into playoffs here, Greg.
Well, and the playoffs are one of the goals for the Skyline team on the season. If they win this ball game today, they finish with a winning record for the first time in several years, and they also accomplish the feat of going to the playoffs. So Skyline program still rebuilding, but this would be a major milestone in their effort.
Absolutely. Let's take a look now at our key players for the Longmont Trojans. The free safety, number 33, James Gabler, a guy who provides senior leadership on a team that has grown a lot, but started out the season with a lot of young guys.
Well, it is a young team, and James Gabler been playing on the field for several years, and he's got an opportunity today to come up on run support more than likely against the Skyline team who is going to try to run the ball. James Gabler's got to make sure he's that last wall of defense in case any of the Skyline running backs get through. And our key player on offense is number 22 wide receiver Matt Magley. Another one of those seniors who's been around here for a few games, has to have a good game. They will, again, as Skyline has to mix up a little bit with that passing game. We'll look for Longmont to come out and try to run, but if Skyline gives them the right look, they will look for Magley deep down the sideline on numerous occasions.
Okay, let's take a look now at our keys to the game. We'll start things off with the visitors. And for that game, the crosstown rivalry, the Skyline Falcons. #1, the Falcons, they want to run right at them.
Well, Skyline doesn't feel that anyone's really stopped their running game real well in the last couple weeks. They ran the ball well against Greeley Central, and they ran it well against Greeley West. So they want to come out here. They want to make Longmont stop their running game.
And #2, here's that guy again, Pressure Chrisman. Everyone knows you got to stop Chrisman to stop the Trojans.
Well, you very easily could give Joe Chrisman the Most Valuable Player award every week, player of the game every week. But Joe Chrisman, early in the season when he had to pass, he got a lot of pressure, and he was not real effective with the passing game, so that's Skyline's plan.
And we'll take a look at our keys to the game to the Longmont Trojans. Number one, this is a team that doesn't want to make mistakes. The only thing they're really working for now, of course, is to get themselves ready for this crosstown rivalry, an undefeated season in the playoffs. They want to cut down on the mistakes, according to Coach Gordon Kramer.
Well, if anything's wrong with a 9-0 record, that is you've not been real consistent throughout the season. So Coach Kramer wants to have this team peaking and doing all the mental assignments at this time.
And number two, they want to stop the counterplay. Now, Skyline is a straight-ahead kind of team, but they'll mix in that counterplay, and the counter, we've seen it against Longmont and a few other teams. Last week against Greeley Central, as a matter of fact, that counterplay can be effective against the Trojan defense.
Well, the Trojan defense, very fast, very aggressive, and as teams that are like that are wont to do, they will over-pursue, and the counteraction will cause them some problems.
Well, you see the band, you hear the band. The bands have actually combined for today's game. Longmont and Skyline bands will be together, so we'll get a chance to see them coming up a little bit later on. That'll wrap things up here for the pregame. Stick around. We'll have the opening kickoff, and we'll have our starting lineups right after this on the Longmont Channel 3 IBM Game of the Week.
Gift that always fits, and the one they wouldn't want to return. Call Visual Impact Photography today to schedule your uniquely different portrait for this holiday season.
Getting subtle hints from the man of the house? Finding little clues about what your golfer might be wanting? Then come to Golf USA, where you'll find all the name brand golf items he dreams of at discount prices every day.
Oh, you must have read my mind.
Before you go to play, come to Golf USA.
A beautiful smile is one thing you can wear your whole life. And Dr. Richard McManaman has been helping make beautiful smiles in Longmont for over 20 years. Effective and affordable, modern orthodontics will improve the health and longevity of your teeth, whether you're young or old. Dr. McManaman offers free consultations, plus convenient evening hours and flexible payment plans. Call 772-7722 for an appointment or visit Dr. McManaman in the Centennial Shopping Center next to Safeway in Longmont.
And we're back here at Everett Montgomery Field for the Channel 3 IBM Game of the Week. There you see both bands together for the pregame festivities, the Skyline and Longmont marching bands. Give you a chance to listen and hear the bands as they get themselves ready for this game. A big game, the biggest game for the Skyline Falcons, as we talked about, since 1988. They made the playoffs and as the number 4 team out of a Northern Conference. Had a little bit different look back in 1988. There were 4 teams who went to the playoffs. They got in and lost their first game big, as a matter of fact. But that's the last time they got there. For a lot of these Skyline players, you know, all they ever had to play for was pride. In fact, they've been hammered quite a bit in games against the Longmont Trojans. It hasn't gone well. They haven't won a game against Longmont Trojans since 1985. They've had some scores that haven't been pretty at all. In fact, in 81 it was, it was back in 1988 that Skyline beat Longmont. And they've had some games that have been some huge margins. In 89 it was 42-7, 28-0. Some closer games in 91 and 92, but then Longmont 32-0. Last year, 24-8. The year before, 95, 35-0. So, I mean, this has been a series that has been dominated 17-4 by the Longmont Trojans. So, you know, a game in which you really have to say, though, that with the way Skyline has played the last couple of games, they definitely will be in this football game. And again, they have the chance for the playoffs.
Well, one thing to point out about that Skyline record, they did beat the Trojans twice in 1986.
Yep.
The final game of that year was the state championship game, and Skyline had their number that year.
Yeah,
great championship game. The stadium was just filled to capacity here.
And of course, that was the only football championship for the Skyline Falcons. That was in a run there for the Longmont Trojans where they made the finals a couple years in a row and weren't able to win the championship. Of course, that all changed a couple years later, starting in '89 with that championship run of 3 straight years.
Well, back before the '86 game, the Trojans, like you said, they did get the championship games, and
yeah, they had a tough run there.
Just basically did not have the type of offensive package in place that they do now, and the Trojans would go in and they would just get shut down on their running game.
And it was costly, and but you know, as we said, it's been a different story since then. The Longmont Trojans have a chance to go undefeated since that great run ended back a few years ago. As you recall, the Longmont Trojans won all those games in a row, and that ended after the '91 season in '92, and they haven't had a undefeated team since then. And this is a team, talking with Coach Gordon Kramer, he wants them definitely to be focused. Same thing Bob Knafton said. They both talked about being focused for different reasons. Of course, Bob Knafton, this is the biggest team for Skyline since 1988, the biggest game, I should say. So they obviously have to come out and play very focused, good football, but Longmont wants to go undefeated and beat their crosstown rivals. It should be an excellent game. And as mentioned, a short week for the Skyline Falcons. They had to play Monday. After all that snow, we had the game here. They postponed their game against Greeley West and played that game Monday. So it's only been a short week, a 5-day week for the Skyline Falcons, who caught a break really in the fact this game was being played on Saturday. Most, as you know, are played on Fridays. So they actually got themselves an extra day that they needed to prepare for this Longmont team. Get ourselves ready to go. Sean Wing to kick. He gets the ball deep, and it will go into the end zone for a touchback. 1st and 10 for the Skyline Falcons at the 20.
Well, as we said in the pregame show, the Skyline Falcons are going to come out and they're going to run right at the Trojans. Trojans are ready for that, though. They know that Skyline's going to try to run the ball and look for the Trojans to start sneaking their safeties up to the line of scrimmage and try to shut down the running attack early.
So 1st down and 10. Take a look at our starters here in a little bit. Full house backfield behind the quarterback, Jason England. Here's the handoff, and caught right at the line and pulled down. A host of Trojans. Glenn Robinson in there as they attack and hit number 33, Wade Glass. Let's take a look at the offensive line. Dan Benedict, Kyle Blaylock, Josh Atherton, a starter for about the second half of the season, Derek Culver and Jeff Simmering. And the tight end is Allison Mina, Glasser tailback, Garcia, Sean Shelton, and Jason England is the quarterback. No gain, 2nd and 10, just underway. Handoff. They get through here, and getting good yardage is number 20, John Garcia. And he is past the 30-yard line. That is a 1st down. And here's the defensive line for the Longmont Trojans. Nathan Froelich, Jason Giles, Brian Bean, Glenn Robinson, Jeremy, that is Rhodey, Sean Wing, and Barry Hansen. There's Workman, Gabler, Harvey, and Kevin Gussie is the backfield defensively for the Longmont Trojans. 1st and 10 for Skyline. Hand the ball off, and Glasser moving the ball, and the pile gets some pretty good yardage there.
Well, they're trapping, the offensive line is trapping at the point of attack, creating a hole, then they run the crossbuck through it, where the fullback's coming off the wing. A little bit of counteraction there, and just creating a seam in the offensive or in the defensive line for the Trojans, and picking up some good yardage on the last 2 plays.
So 2nd down and 5. Here's the handoff again to Glasser. He's still on his feet, and he is wrapped up there. Thought about putting that ball out, trying to stretch out as far as he could, but they had him held up at the legs. And a good idea not to put that ball out there and have a chance to get it whacked out of his hands. It'll be 3rd down and 3. Hansen, among others, with the tackle.
It's a big 3rd down play now for the Falcons here. Want to continue the drive.
Do a counter play to Garcia, and he is not going to get the 1st down. John Garcia wrapped up with the blue shirts all over.
Well, Harvey comes out of the pile limping just a little bit. The strong safety in on the tackle had the play fall at his feet.
It'll be 4th and 2. Ball is at the 39-yard line. I expect the Skyline will kick, and they will be kicking into a wind that's coming from the north and very strong, about 20 to 30 miles an hour. Jason England is the kicker. He drives it into the wind nicely. That ball bouncing around, and it takes a Longmont bounce before it is down. Number 81, Aaron Garcia, was the receiver back to get the punt, but it bounced around.
33 yards on the punt there. Not a bad job into the wind. Aaron Garcia looked like he really wanted to come up and field that ball, but he had a Skyline player right in his face. Good decision not to go ahead and grab it. Just take the spot where it lays.
Good special team coverage there on the punt. Ball to 27, 1st and 10 for the Trojans. Joe Chrisman is the quarterback. He has Wing and Garcia behind him. Dropping straight back, flags fly. They have a screen set up to Sean Wing, and it's not going to get much. We'll take a look here at our starting lineups as we sort out the penalty here. Offensive line, Matt Rogers, Jason McKee, Nate Kelly, Keith Gertizer, and Seth Holland. In the backfield, Chris Spahn is the tight end, Aaron Garcia, Matt Magley Garcia in the backfield now, B.J. Nielsen, the other wide receiver. Quarterback is Joe Chrisman, and Sean Wing has moved up to a fullback position, allowing Aaron Garcia to be the tailback, and is a procedure call against the Trojans.
Well, in today's game, look for Wing to line up at some tight end. Also, Longmont run a lot of double tight with Sean Wing and Aaron Garcia rotating at the tailback position.
So the penalty makes it 1st and 15. Chrisman rolls again, looking to throw. Has the pass. It was going to B.J. Nielsen, but well overthrown on the play. And we'll take a look here. Starting lineup, defensive line, Tony Capilla for defensive end for the Skyline. Rico Mina, also along with Brian Keogh, Tim Wilson, and Jason England has moved to middle linebacker from the defensive line. The linebackers also are John Garcia, Allison Koob, Trayson Adler, Rafael Caballero, and Richard Dennis are the three backfield. So they run a 4-4 defense, bring 8 guys up to the line of scrimmage to try to put some pressure on the Trojans. No gain, 2nd and 15. Handoff to Garcia, and he is in trouble, and that defense comes up and makes a big play, gets maybe a yard.
Trojans
actually lost yardage, excuse me, Greg.
Trojans trying to run a little off-tackle play there, but the defensive end, Allison, blows it up on the side, and no hole for Garcia to run through.
Magley, you see, coming into the play, into the huddle with the play. It'll be 3rd down and 16. Looking for another pass attempt. They've had a couple passes already, have the Trojans, trying to mix things up. Takes the handoff. Chrisman throwing, has the pass away, and it is caught, and it will be a 1st down. And slipping down at the 50 is number 15. That is Ryan Calamea. Calamea, of course, caught the overtime touchdown pass last year, or last week, that is, in the snow to give the Trojans the victory.
Good protection by the line there as number 33 is picked up on the block. Chrisman has all day, finds Calamea coming back to the ball, had run a deep route on the right side of the field, comes back in for the reception.
Linebackers there, and Caballero, the safety, lost Calamea across the middle of the field, and it cost them 1st down, ball to 49-yard line for the Trojans. Hand off to Wing. Wing cuts through. He's wrapped up and brought down nicely by number 47, Allison, Jason Allison. What a good run nonetheless.
As this game progresses, look for Sean Wing to be a very important part of the Trojan offense. We've seen him used more as a decoy the last couple weeks, but Trojans' plans to keep him more involved in today's ball game.
He's their hard-nosed runner. 2nd down and 7. Two receivers to the top of the screen there. Hand the ball off to Chrisman, Chrisman faked the handoff, kept it himself, and was pulled down. Bobbled the ball there.
Little freeze option there. Chrisman puts the ball in the belly of Wing, goes to pull it out, fumbles the ball a little bit, falls on it. Trojans retain possession.
That'll bring up 3rd and a long 7 Last time they had 3rd and 15 or 16, and they made the first down. Let's see what the Skyline defense adjusts to here. Bring 5 guys up to the line.
Trojans are in the double tight formation with Garcia, the sole back.
Gonna flare that ball out there to Calamea again, and he gets the first down and is pulled down, but out of bounds by number 24, Richard Dennis, but it will be enough for a first down, a gain of 10.
Well, you see the play set up here. Chrisman looks over, sees the safety on the other side of the field, throws back to Calamea, who runs a curl underneath the linebackers there, and the Trojans get the first down yardage.
A little bit of a pick play there that pays off for the Trojans. 1st and 10. Trojans moving the ball through the air. Kind of a surprise here early on.
Double tight formation once again.
Magley and Nielsen now at the bottom of your screen. Looking, passing, throws to Nielsen well in front of him. Rafael Caballero was actually the closest receiver to that one.
Well, looking for the slant in, a little 3-step drop. Chrisman has the receiver open, just can't deliver the ball.
Calamea and Magley, are 2 coming in and out, running the plays into Joe Chrisman.
Trojans throwing the ball a little more than they have in recent weeks.
Yeah.
Of course, last week no one was going to throw the ball in the bad weather, even though the winning touchdown was on a pass play.
Yeah, it was on a pass play.
Just 1 of 4 completions in that game.
Only 2 completions for Chrisman. The last one, the big one. A blitz underway, gets the ball to Aaron Garcia, but he's wrapped up and taken down. A loss of 7 on the play. Back to the 45-yard line. They had that one defensed nicely.
And that's just like a long toss on a sweep. Ball's lateraled backwards to Garcia. You see the ball thrown back behind Chrisman. This will go as a running play for Garcia.
Coop there with the tackle. Brian Coop comes up, got help from Jason Allison for the big loss now. 3rd down and 16.
Good job by the Skyline defense of staying home on the coverage and not going for the play action.
They had Glasser on the blitz. They were reading pass on that play, and it paid off. Hand the ball off to Aaron Garcia. He is wrapped up and brought down. Another good play by Brian Coop.
So 4th down, the Trojans are going to bring out the punting team. But remember, the coach Gordon Kramer has a reputation for going for it once he crosses the 50.
See if they pull a fake. They do have, as you mentioned, the punting unit out there. But Skyline has to be careful. Wade Glasser will go back to receive the kick.
From the days of Paul Shoemaker, the quarterback stays in as the up back on the punt, so never really know when the fake is coming.
They will snap it long. The punt is away. Kurt Earl. Ball bounces off of Glasser's hand. He cuts outside, has some room if he can get around that block, the downfield player. That was number 51, Phil Dorth.
That ball never should have been fielded. Let that ball go into the end zone, take the ball on the 20-yard line on the touchback, but Glasser makes a mistake, touches the ball, then he's got to cover it.
Yeah, he's got to pick it up.
Otherwise, it's a live ball for the Trojans.
That comes back to coaching there. You got to teach the guys once they get inside the 10-yard line, let it go, take your chances on it going into the end zone. But Glasser went back and fielded it. Now they have the ball. 1st and 10 at the 7-yard line, deep in their own territory. And England will keep the ball himself, try to get some yardage. He'll get outside the 10-yard line, but a flag flies, and we'll see what the call is here.
And the referee throws the flag, so it's going to be in the area of holding.
Yeah, I was going to say holding more than likely.
England, the most physical player on the, when they're going to call false start, actually. Kind of a strange call for the referee to be throwing the flag on.
Especially on a quarterback sneak. I don't know who moved there. But that will cost them half the distance. Procedure is the call. There you go. Okay, that makes sense. A little bit easier on that, on the procedure, than a movement when the quarterback keeps it, although that can happen, I suppose. 4:39 left to go in the first quarter. Half the distance runs it back to the 4.5-yard line, where it'll be first down about 14 or so for the first down. They got to get out to the 18-yard line. So 1st and 14. Handoff, get the ball to Garcia. John Garcia spins around, nice spin move, and because of that was able to pick up about 9 yards. If he doesn't make that spin, Greg, he's caught.
Well, if he's able to maintain his balance off that spin move, he had a lot more running yardage than that, as he had the corner on the Trojan defense.
Yeah, Brad Harvey would have had to come over from the safety position and take him down. So they make back a good chunk of yards there. Make it 2nd and 6. In that full house backfield. Hand the ball off again to Garcia. He's the workhorse early. He's out near first down yardage. I think he got there. Going right up the middle.
Just a straight dive up the middle. And John Garcia running hard in this game so far. Gets him up. They're probably going to have to bring the chains in. They marked it as a first down, so good eyes on your part there.
Well, I've got to give credit to Skyline. You know, Longmont knew, talking with Coach Gordon Kramer, he said it, this is a team that runs straight ahead. They know what they have to do. And that stopped that just straight up the middle. Just comes slamming right at you. But so far, Skyline's made it work. There's trouble there.
You're not going to have a lot of success trying to run wide on the Trojans very many times because of their speed to the outside. And you see that the defensive end closes this play down real quick. You see the Skyline band across the way. We have both bands here today, and they will play at the halftime.
Pretty good crowd on hand for this crosstown rivalry. About 3/4 full here for a game that, under sunny conditions though, the wind really putting a chill to the air. Still some fans showing up. 2nd and 10. Hand the ball off to Garcia, but he is wrapped up nicely by number 89.
Well, Brian Bean in on the tackle. The nose guard just grabs on low and hangs on.
3-yard pickup.
3rd and about 7 here. Skyline like to keep this drive going. Once again, they're just nothing tricky about what they're doing. They're just running hard straight ahead at the Trojans. They're going to do it until the Trojans can stop them.
3rd down here. England dropping under pressure, gets it away, and ended up having to throw it away as he was under a lot of pressure. And we'll send it on down here to Jeff Pfeiffer for our first sideline report. Jeff.
Thanks, Mike and Greg. A condition of the field. The wind is blowing from the north to the south at about 5 to 15 miles an hour. Now, Longmont used this wind in their first drive to complete some passes. At the end of the quarter, when they turn around, it's not going to be so easy. Back to you.
Yeah, it'll definitely make a difference here on this game for the Skyline Falcons, for whatever team is going into the wind in that situation. And Jason England again kicking into the wind. Garcia has the ball hang up. He gets away. It takes the Skyline bounce and gets to near midfield, where it will be 1st and 10. Ball at the 49-yard line. Again, excellent field position for the Longmont Trojans. Again, with that wind at their back, they want to be able to move the ball here with 2 minutes and 11 seconds left. And 5 to 15 miles an hour, he said.
Well, I'm not going to rely on Jeff Pfeiffer for weather reports very often. And if he can put a flag on end, it's a little more than 15 miles per hour.
I think it's above 15. 15 is probably the lowest it's been all day. Single back, Garcia. Magali Nielsen split out to hand the ball to Garcia. He gets outside. He's at the 40. Turns around at the 35, 30, down the sideline, still on his feet, knocked out of bounds at the 30, at the 24-yard line. 1st and 10 there for the Longmont Trojans.
Well, the Trojans set up in a single back, double tight end set, and they run the little off tackle play.
36 yards on the gain.
Yeah, last year, Tony DeFalco ran that play over and over and over, and Garcia finding lots of room as the Skyline defense gets trapped inside. Garcia gets to the outside, has lots of room.
Nice hard running, too, at the end of that to keep himself going with all those tacklers around. Can hand the ball off again to Garcia. Again, looking to get outside. He does. Penalty flag flies. This is coming back. Garcia's inside the 5, but we're going to have probably a holding, I would expect, or illegal use of the hands of some kind against the Longmont Trojans.
And that call is going to go against either B.J. Nielsen or number 63, Matt Rogers. They run the same play, just the other side of the field. Once again, they run the off tackle. But he's going to get the credit for the yardage first before they back him up. So it's going to be about 1st down and 12 now. But once again, the Trojans, just a little off-tackle play. They run it right, turn around and run it left. They just tell Skyline, we're going to run this play at you till you stop it.
The play did get down inside the 5, so actually it was a pickup of about, about 7 yards or so, because it comes back to be first down and 13 on the hold, which was 7 yards downfield. Then the single back. Hand the ball off to Garcia. Gets
Same
good
play.
field block. Turns the corner. He's down inside the 5, and he's near the end zone. The ball came out. They're spotting the ball down inside the 1.
Well, one official threw his beanbag to mark a fumble. The other official quickly runs in, says he was down by contact.
Okay.
Trojans maintain possession of the ball at the 1 yard line. And as we said, the Trojans going to run it again. Single back, double tight, off tackle play. Ryan Garcia just to the outside. Skyline defense gets trapped inside again. Aaron Garcia, lots of room one more time.
So they have 4 plays from the 1 to get in here. 1:12 to go here in the first quarter.
They go into I formation for this play.
Bring wing in. Crispin keeps it himself and plunges into the end zone for the touchdown. So Longmont gets on the board first here in this crosstown rivalry. 6-0 with the $1.04 left to go here in the first quarter. A drive of 51 yards for the Longmont Trojans, most all of it from Aaron Garcia.
And right there, you see the Trojans go into the I formation. Joe Crispin just takes it, dives over the middle, finds a hole for the touchdown.
Garcia does the work. Crispin gets the glory of going over the goal line. There's the kick. It's up, and it is good. Nielsen has the extra point.
Slight bobble on the snap on the extra point. Joe Crispin does a good job getting it down. Nielsen still able to get it up and good for the extra point.
7-0 the lead for the Longmont Trojans. Talked about how they wanted to get some points on the board with the wind to their back, and they did. That time they moved the ball running, though. We saw them in their first drive, Greg, trying to pass the ball, establish the passing game, and that did help them to get this run opened up.
Well, as you game plan, you come out, you want to show one thing, and then try to set up other plays later on in the game. Trojans came in this game with every intent to try to run that off-tackle play, left, off-tackle play right, because they feel they can run this ball at Skyline today. You talk about the formations that the Trojans use. Talked to Coach Bob Napton before the game for Skyline, and asked him what he expected to see. He said, we've seen 4 game films on the Trojans. Every game film, they ran a different offensive set. They run primarily the same plays, but always use different sets.
Wing kicks the ball. It is fielded by number 38, Shannon Shelton, who is wrapped up. Shelton, usually a blocker, and shows it there. But, hey, a good run. That gets the ball to the 23-yard line on that. Went cross-field for about 12 to 15 yards, upfield for maybe a yard.
And then went backwards about another 10. And he didn't have any of his other red-shirted buddies out there with him when he started going backwards.
So 1st and 10, ball will be at the 24-yard line. Skyline has moved the ball here, but unable to get any points here in this first quarter. 55 seconds, they'll get the win back, to their backs, I should say. Here's the option play. They're going to just block and give England a lane to run, and England runs nicely, gets near the first down, gets a good gain, 7-8 yards.
Well, Skyline will run the option, and when they run that option, Jason England is not afraid to turn that ball up. We talked about how big he is at, we'll get the size here, 6'2", 205 pounds, and one of the most physical players on the field for the Falcons. So not afraid to put it down and run, and if you're a DB, you don't like to see him coming at you.
Yeah, he's a big guy. Again, they're going to run the same play. And again, England's going to keep it, and he'll be near the first down yardage. Everyone bailing out of the way there. So we'll see when they pick up the marker where he's at. England gained about a yard, so it'll be 3rd down and a long one.
More than likely the last play of the quarter, just 10 seconds left on the clock. So we'll flip sides here shortly.
See if he did go out of bounds, so they will have to run this play.
Details, minor details.
Minor detail that it is, but it could make a difference. Here's the play. They do a counter. Allison slipped and went down, and that's too bad because he easily had the first down, but he's at that part of the field that where most of the play is done. Looks like the part of the field where everyone would come out and graze the cattle or something, because there's just basically not any grass there, just sand. So it'll be 4th down when we come back. After the end of a quarter of play, the Longmont Trojans lead the Skyline Falcons 7-0.
Look at these beautiful dinette sets. Expensive? What if I told you they start at just $139? Or how about this sofa love seat from $489? Where can you get terrific bargains on quality furniture? You won't believe me, so I'll show you. These single mattress sets for just $169. Well, my time is up. What's the secret for new furniture at discount prices? The Front Range Indoor Flea Market. If you don't believe me, come see for yourself. 1420 Nelson Road in Longmont.
Back here for the start of the second quarter on the Channel 3 IBM Game of the Week. Trojans up by a touch. 4th down, and Jason England likely to kick the ball. Pretty good punter. He'll have the wind at his back. They're going to snap it short. It is going to be enough for the first down on the fake. And that will be enough for the first down.
Direct snap to the up man. He just runs right forward for the first down. We talk about Longmont's fake punt, but Falcons playing a little bit of Longmont's game right here.
A good call there. Good call there. I think they snapped that ball to Pete Chavez, number 32, who was the up back on that. But I can't be positive. Caught me by surprise. 1st and 10, though. Hand the ball off to John Garcia. And John Garcia has 2 yards on the run.
I think the fake punt might have gone to Sean Shelton there.
I agree with you on that. Shelton was the one who got the ball.
Had a busy drive so far. Kickoff return, and it's a special teams play. Sean Shelton's your man.
Went in motion a few times out there. Some playing time for this team. Remember, again, this is the biggest game for Skyline since 1988. If they win, they go to the playoffs. They'll travel if they go to the playoffs. Here's the play by England. Gets outside, keeps on his feet, and is into Trojan territory. They're going to mark him out of bounds right near midfield.
Well, Workman makes the tackle. The last line of defense out there on the corner. And if your corner's that far upfield on the option play, typically you're going to give up a lot of yardage.
Yeah, exactly. You got to bring your corner up. He's got to shut down the outside.
So Jed Schutze, the linebacker, also being blocked out on the play. So good job by the Skyline line.
Seal blocks. And the line, we've got to have that on those option plays. England dropping, looking, throws the ball and throws it up. Very nearly intercepted. I tell you what, they're lucky Brad Harvey isn't taking that ball back the other way, trying to go to Garcia.
Well, John Garcia breaks through the line of scrimmage. He's open. Jason England lays the ball out there, but it looked like Garcia might have slowed up on the play, maybe lost his balance. You see England hiding it on his hip. Ball goes down the field, and the reason Garcia slows down is he's looking back over his head as the ball is thrown over the wrong shoulder. And as you said, Harvey gets back and almost makes a play on the ball.
Had the ball in his hands. Garcia was open. Floated the pass out there, but he slowed down as mentioned and wasn't able to get there. Here's the pitch to Glasser. He is going to be wrapped up and brought down. A host of Trojans there, led by Jason Giles is in there.
Well, Nathan Froelich turns this play in. He gets outside of the play, and Glasser's got to cut it inside.
So they'll bring up 3rd down and long. 3rd down and 12.
The Trojan defense has fenced a little bit today, but once Skyline gets up near the 50, the Trojan defense has stiffened up.
Talking about that Trojan defense, they're not that big. England drops the ball. I don't know who has it. Longmont says they've got it, and they do. The first break goes to the Longmont Trojans. England fumbles the exchange, and that will give Longmont again excellent field position, this time just inside Skyline territory at the 46-yard line.
We're going to see it right here. England underneath center just drops it right off the snap. and the Trojans get in the pile. The Trojans pretty good at coming up with those fumbles in the piles. And I'm sorry, Michael, but you talk about Longmont not wanting to make mistakes. Skyline cannot afford to make mistakes against the talented Longmont team.
Absolutely. Here's the handoff to Sean Wing, tripped up there. Who was that from the ground? Nice play by Dan Benedict, I believe, number 69. Checked at Josh Atherton. Gain of 2.
Josh Atherton doing a good job holding his block. And the Trojans, small pickup on first down.
Koob also helped bring him down.
Once again, the double tight end set. This time, Sean Wing is the single back.
He started the season as the feature back, the single back. He felt they needed more blocking out of the backfield. Pick things up. Chrisman rolling, throwing, has the receiver, but overthrows. Intended for number 17, Josh Markley. Incomplete, though. The one thing about Joe Chrisman on the pass, if he's going to throw it an incomplete pass, generally, Greg, it's high. Usually he overthrows his receivers.
Well, that time Chrisman trying to hit Markle was running down the line of scrimmage, throwing the ball off balance, and really he had his choice between Markle or Spahn.
Third down and long. Skyline needs to hold here. Here is the handoff to Garcia. He has a block. He has a first down, stays on his feet down the sideline, and gets to the 30-yard line. And they're going to have to bring somebody over there to try to shut down that play, because simply what's going on is the line is coming out there and seal blocking, and then the wide receivers helping out downfield as well on the cornerbacks, and they're getting about 15 or more yards a pop. 69 yards already for Garcia.
Well, they pull the guards, and the guards go out and seal in the defensive end. That leaves the tackle free to go out and get the linebacker or the corner. Very effective play for the Trojans. Now Aaron Garcia in at the single back again.
Big handoff this time. Looking for Magley. He has Magley. If he can get it down there, it is tipped away. Beautiful play. Who was that? Number 21 for Skyline.
Trayson Adler back on the coverage. Caballero late getting over in the middle. And Magley just couldn't wait long enough for the ball to come down.
Well, Matt Magley had a step. He ran by Trayson Adler and got himself open. But Adler was able to get back, close the gap, and tip the ball away. A huge play there because Magley was in the back of the end zone for 6. 2nd and 10. Aaron Garcia still a single back. We have movement into the neutral zone comes England. Dan Benedict also moved, and they're going to call offside, so it'll be 2nd and 5.
So on a second and short yardage here, Trojans look for them to go ahead and run the ball, try to get the first down as they work their way into the end zone. One of the things to realize is when Longmont goes into this double tight end set, it's Sean Wing that's going out on the left tight end position, and they've had a lot of room blocking over there. Once again, Sean Wing, a converted offensive lineman.
Here's a handoff to Garcia. Cuts back inside. He won't have enough for the first down, but a good gain for 3rd down and short. So it'll be 3rd down and 2. Chrisman goes over to the offensive coordinator, picks up the call.
This time Trojans come out in the I formation, wide receivers each side. Now Wing shifts up into the double tight.
Get to go to the bottom part of the screen here. Now they're going to hand off straight up the middle. Plenty of room for Garcia, and he'll have the first down and more down to the 12-yard line, 1st and 10. Longmont again methodically moving the ball.
Just a straight power that time out of the single tailback formation. You can see it there, the guards and tackles trap and pull. Garcia just right up the middle as the middle of the Skyline defense wasn't there.
So 1st and 10, ball to 12. Longmont looking to add to their 7-0 lead. Garcia is the only back in the backfield, and he has the ball, gets the block, has a blocker, should score here. He does. Aaron Garcia, 12-yard run for a touchdown, as right now Longmont's offensive line asserting themselves against this Skyline team. Skyline needs to regroup quickly. 13-0, the Trojans lead.
Here we go, and they're going to run right in behind Sean Wing again. And Matt Rogers out there to lead the way in for Aaron Garcia.
So Nielsen looking here for the extra point. Here's the snap again, skips off the ground, and I don't think he got there. Nope, it sailed off wide right. So with 7:50 to go here in the first half, the Longmont Trojans lead 13-0 over the Skyline Falcons. So Sean Wing will tee it up here. But again, Skyline's got to get themselves back into this game right now. If nothing else, they need to have a good, sustained drive. Let's kick it downfield to Jeff Pfeiffer on the sidelines with an injury report. Jeff. Well, hold on here just a moment. Here we'll take and get set up here for the kickoff. So again, Sean Wing will pick up the report here in just a moment. Wing to kick. Burkello is back, along with Adler. Going towards Burkello. Ball bouncing, it goes into the end zone, and once it crosses the plane of the goal line, it is a touchback, and we'll go down now to Jeff.
Thanks, Mike. Skyline's number 20, John Garcia, is hobbled by a left ankle. He's got it sprained. He says it's wrapped, but it's hurting him. I figure he's going at about 85%. This is going to hurt Skyline because he goes at both the linebacker and as running back. Back to you.
Yeah, it's tough when you got those two-way players. You lose a guy, you hurt yourself on both sides of the ball here. Let's see, he is not out there at this time. In for him is number 38, Shelton. So thanks to that report, I was wondering why Shelton was in there and not Garcia anymore. Shelton has the ball, but the Longmont defense all over him. Longmont defense a bit undersized this year, but this is an undefeated defense. They've done a very good job. They work a lot in practice at quickness and filling the gaps and getting to the right position to stop the run.
Well, Coach Kramer personally works with the defense, and the trademark of the Kramer era, which goes back 23 years, has been that outstanding defense.
Here is the handoff. Garcia's back in. He is hammered. He's hit by Wing. Let's see who's on the bottom there.
Gussie and Robinson also win on the tackle.
Robinson in there. Gabler helping. This will be 3rd down and long. 3rd and 9. So a lot of pressure now on Jason England. Try to get that first down. Going to pitch the ball to Wade Glasser, who has some room, but unable to go outside, chose to come up inside, and because of that, Pursuit was able to get over there and cut him down, and gains only 4 yards, so it'll be 4th down and 5 for the Skyline Falcons. Now on their last drive, they did do a fake punt. Of course, they were out near midfield. This time, they're back at their own 25. I don't think this is the time where you want to do that. They do have Glasser there, though. But they're going to snap it back to England, who, with the wind at his back, actually shanks it off his foot. He's very unhappy. Jason England, a kick of 20 yards and hangs his head. He knows with the wind at his back, Greg, he needs more than, well, actually, officially 19 on the punt. He knows he needs more than that with the wind at his back.
Well, he was booming them into the wind in pre-games and has not shown that same ability to kick that nice tight spiral we've seen from him during the year.
Well, he was kicking into the wind in the first quarter and had a couple of good kicks. They weren't real long, but They did get over 30 yards each time. That one with the wind at his back, though, goes up the side of his foot and gives Longmont. Again, Longmont has just won the battle of field position, and they have great field position at their Skyline 43-yard line. They hand the ball off, and getting outside, pummeled hard by England. That is number 25, Matt Davis. And Davis has been a guy, we've seen him come in a couple of times, Greg, and carry the ball and get great yardage and touchdowns.
Well, a couple games we've done for the Trojans, the first time he's touched the ball, he's gone for touchdowns. Of course, last week the call was held back on a holding penalty, but this time Matt's kind of let us down on this run.
Yeah.
Just a 6-yard pickup.
Expected a touchdown on that play. Garcia comes back in. He's in the backfield. Magley and Nielsen, the bottom of your picture, to hand the ball off to Garcia. Fumble! Falls on the ground. Wade Glasser's got it, and the sideline. He is pulled down, but a big break there for the Skyline Falcons. They'll have excellent field position at the Longmont 45. Garcia hit hard, dropped the ball, and Wade Glasser said, thank you. Headed back down the sideline for about a 15-yard run back, and you'll see it here on the replay.
Well, once again, it's the off-tackle play. You see Wing with the good block in there, but just an outstanding hit by Caballero, who just drills him right in the middle of the chest. Glasser there to pick it up. Good return.
We talked with Raphael a couple of weeks ago, and he came up there on that play. Now finally shutting down that sweep, bringing him over to try to stop him from getting around the corner, and he hit him so hard he caused the fumble. Hand off to Garcia. Garcia's wrapped up and hit hard. Brought down by James Gabler. But a 4-yard gain. 4:55 to go here in the first half. Longmont ahead by 2 touchdowns, minus an extra point, 13-0. Come up here to the line of scrimmage. Full house backfield again. They do have Garcia back in there. There's going to be a penalty flag. It looks as though Glasser moved early. They're going to have a motion penalty on Glasser. So as we sort things out here, we'll take a break and come back right after this. And we're back here. 13-0 the lead for the Longmont Trojans. That was a procedure penalty against Skyline. 5 yards stepped off, so it'll be 2nd down and 11.
Skyline's going to break the full house tee this time. Go with 2-back set.
Garcia and Glasser in the backfield, and pressure from James Gabler. He gets the ball away, and they're going to call it an incomplete forward pass.
Smart
good
thinking.
Play, excellent play by England.
Smart thinking there by England and Glasser right there, so no intentional grounding.
Nope. That's
even though the fans are calling for it, but Glasser in the area, but James Gabler coming on the safety blitz.
You see it here. This is absolutely the correct call by the referees. Now, England was wrapped up. There's no in-the-grass rule in high school. He got the ball away. Even if he tossed it underhanded, that is still a forward pass behind the line of scrimmage. So that is an incomplete pass. Even though the fans on this Longmont side disappointed about that, it is a good call and a good play by England. Passes away, set up nicely to Allison. If they can get some blocks, he's only going to gain about a yard on the play because good pursuit from that Longmont defense, Greg.
Well, the Trojan defense does its job again, holding after the turnover. The punt team comes in for Skyline.
It'll be 4th down and 10. Giles with the tackle there. And that'll put Jason England back. Now the ball at the 45-yard line. We'll see if they go to Wade Glasser, get another fake punt. Snap it long. England will get this one up high, but again, not a very good kick. Ball takes a Skyline bounce. They need that just to get a 20-yard punt.
Trojans do a good job staying away from the ball as it's rolling around on the ground. And anytime you can get a 20-yard punt, you're more than happy to just take it at the spot.
Oh, absolutely. Ball at, well, we call it the 24-yard line, just inside the 25. So Jason England having some problems punting the ball his last 2 times out. 3:10 remaining here in the first half.
Markle checks in at the tight end, puts Wing back in the backfield in the single back set.
Callahan, Magley, the receivers. Hand off to Wing, has a big hole up the middle, and good yardage. Down at the 30, so a gain of about 6 yards on the run.
Wing goes up the middle that time. Look for him to go off tackle. Trojan game planning, once again, really wanted to focus the ball on Sean Wing this week, get him involved, both from the running back position, also utilizing his blocking ability at that tight end.
2nd and 4. Here's the handoff to Wing. Wing tripped up. Allison tripped him, but Wing stays on his feet. Gets ahead for 6 more yards, and that's a first down.
You'll see the play. It's just a little option right up the middle to the tailback.
Now, Allison tripped him, but Wing able to keep himself upright and run ahead for the ball, or for the first down with the ball. Hand the ball to Wing again, and this time Jason Allison comes in and smacks him down. Had help also from Jason England. So the left side of the line there doing a very good job.
Well, Skyline seeing the off-tackle play enough times, they're starting to string it out, put enough bodies out there to stop it, making sure that they're not getting trapped inside by the tight ends.
Which will help open things up in the middle, of course, for the Trojans. We'll see if they attack there. They did on their last drive for a big first down gain. Here's the pass away to Magley, who lets it go through his hands. Matt Magley, unfortunately.
And that ball thrown right at us, so we had a good angle to watch the ball, and that ball moved from south to north about a foot in the air. That ball had a little tail on it, really into the wind.
So unfortunately for Matt Magley, it slips through, and it brings up a 3rd down and long with 1:36 to go here in the first half. 3rd down and 8. Pressure and a big sack there.
And good thing for Skyline, because Longmont had a little wide receiver screen set up coming right down the line of scrimmage. No one on the backside of the play for Skyline. Trayson Adler or Rafael Caballero would have had to make a big play on this. As you see Nielsen cutting across the screen, the Trojans had that play set up, just didn't have the time to run it.
Jeff Simmering, credited with the sack, had help from Tony Campia as well. And a timeout here has been called. Well, they called a timeout. And here, yeah, okay, they are going to take, I was going to say that Trojan defensive coach is coming out, so a timeout has been called. No one can tell you how to act. No one can tell you what to do, because only you have the power to make your decisions. So no one can make you drop out of school. No one can force you to do drugs or drink alcohol. No one can demand you to have sex or require that you steal. The only person who can make you do anything is you. You're also the only one who has the power to say no. Use it. This message is another way IBM connects with kids.
And we'd like to thank IBM once again for sponsoring the game of the week, and hope everybody at home appreciates it. The Longmont special teams coaches going out to talk about protection on this punt. Wanted to make sure Skyline didn't have an opportunity to block it. That's why the offensive line coach, Greg Mall, had gone out to talk to his linemen.
Heard Earl with the kick.
And the Trojans do get the punt off. So Skyline has 1:14 on the clock to try to go 56 yards for a score.
Not bad position here for Skyline. They've had basically poor field position this whole first half. Now that they get good field position, only got 1:14 to do something with it. 2 in the backfield, Garcia and Glasser.
Gabler and Harvey drop back. We got a counter play going to Glasser, and the Trojans stop it up.
Trojans, we talked about one of the things Gordon Kramer and his keys to the game wanted to work on defensively.
Jeremy Rohde there for the tackle. Apologize to Jeremy for calling him Road last week, but Rohde there on the play. Coach Doug Johnson goes out to talk to his defense.
So timeout was called there. On the opposite side of the field is Skyline offense talking.
So the guy there in the shorts in your picture, former Longmont standout Clint Moore, went on to play up at the University of Colorado, comes out to see the Longmont games every chance he gets.
So it will be 2nd down and 10 for the Trojans. So we got 1:03 to go here in the first half. And Skyline needs to get themselves, if they can, any sort of points out of this. They trail by 13.
Ryan Berklow out on the
flags fly. That pass was intended for Seth Haley. And we're going to have a procedure call there against the Skyline Falcons. So that'll march things back, a false start.
Well, the false start puts the Falcons back 5 yards. Into the game at corner for the Trojans is Wyatt Roden, checking in for, check out, see who he was in for. I know that Workman is in his position. So on the other side, he would be in for Kevin Gussie.
They decline the penalty. So it'll bring up 3rd down and 10. 1 minute exactly to go in the first half. Pass is away, has the receiver, but well underthrown as he was trying to get the ball to number 84, Jared Norlis.
And Roden out there on the coverage. Actually, Berklow had a step on him.
Check that. Was it Berklow? My fault there.
I believe it was number 34.
My mistake. Ryan Berklow.
No, you were right. You were right. It was 84.
It was 84. Okay. So it'll bring up a punting situation, and it's been an adventure here in the second quarter for Jason England under pressure. This time gets a good kickoff. Garcia has a chance to return it at 25, slips and falls. So, yeah, he didn't have any chance at all after the slip. Ball at the 24-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10. Longmont has 48 seconds to work with. So all things considered for Skyline, they had great field position. Only had about 1:15 to go in the first half and only used about 25 seconds.
As you got a quick glimpse at the clock there with only 48 seconds. Test for everybody at home to see if they can catch it that quickly.
So now the Trojans actually have 48 seconds to work with it here. Straight drop. They pass it underneath. There's that wide receiver screen you talked about. Magley has it. And
get one block.
Oh, if he couldn't get the block, well, we're going to have a hold coming across the field anyway there. It looks like Sean Wing will get caught for tackling somebody downfield.
If we get an opportunity later in this game, maybe we can get an isolation camera on Sean Wing, because on a play like that, he's just like the soldier or the fighter who says, give me another one. He blocks one guy, throws him out of the way, runs upfield, grabs another guy, throws him out of the way. Then the third guy he actually had to grab, and that's why the holding call.
And that's why it was called. So it will be downfield where it took place. He'll get about 8 yards on the reception, and right from where he was brought down, they're going to mark off the penalty.
We think back to the last Trojan possession on the 3rd down play. They tried to set up the wide receiver screen. They had it set up real well. They come back on this possession and started with the same play, other side. It was set up fairly well. Actually gained some good positive yardage except for the penalty there at the end.
1st down and 18. 18 yards to go for the 1st down with 25 seconds left in the first half. It looks like they'll probably just run it out. They will. Garcia will take it. They don't have to snap the ball again. I think the Longmont Trojans are content to go into halftime with a 13-0 lead, and that'll do it. Longmont is going to start meandering down towards the end of the end zone there. 5 seconds to go in the first half. So first half, they saw the Longmont Trojans score a couple of touchdowns in the second quarter and give themselves a 13-0 lead over the Skyline Falcons on this IBM Channel 3 Game of the Week. We'll be back in a moment.
have to search far to find the best tasting pizza. Just call Blackjack right here in Longmont. Locally owned and operated, Blackjack has the largest selection of all your favorite toppings, with our dough and sauce made fresh daily. Our talented team of pizza makers take pride in creating the best pies every time you order. So why call anywhere else? With carry-out, dine-in, delivery, and weekly specials, you can't go wrong with Blackjack. Visit Blackjack Pizza today or call 776-1900 for takeout or delivery.
Need a loan? First National Bank is here to help. At First National Bank of Longmont, you can apply for a loan 24 hours a day, 7 days a week by using our First Loan by Phone service. Call 776-1616 to apply for a loan with competitive rates and flexible terms to build your dream house, buy a car, or fly away on a relaxing vacation. We are here for you anytime. First National Bank of Longmont, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Most people know that chiropractic treatment can relieve pain resulting from a job-related injury or auto accident. But at Stately Chiropractic, we do more than just get rid of pain. We're a holistic healthcare practice concerned with your family's total wellness. We concentrate on keeping your family healthy and are successful in treating many common ailments such as ear infections, migraine headaches, and chronic low back pain. Enjoy good health and call us today at Stately Chiropractic.
Channel 3 now brings you the Channel 3 Profile, a program featuring local people living remarkable lives. Tune in to Channel 3 for the Channel 3 Profile.
At Herbert Motors in Longmont, we've set our goals high with a commitment to provide every customer with the highest level of service in the automotive marketplace at no extra cost to you. Before, during, and after the sale, Herbert Motors is dedicated to your complete satisfaction. We call it red carpet treatment. And at Herbert Motors in Longmont, it's not just a slogan, it's the only way we do business. Experience red carpet treatment for yourself. Stop into Herbert Motors on the Diagonal at Sunset in Longmont.
There's one. And we're back here at halftime for the Channel 3 IBM Game of the Week. Longmont scored their first touchdown in the first quarter, 6 points in the second quarter on another touchdown, missed extra point. So they lead at 13-0 here. And Greg, got to talk about Skyline here real quick in the sense that this is a team, if they win, they get a chance to go to the state playoffs. What do they have to do here in the second half?
They're going to have to shut down the Trojan running game, stop that off tackle, and try to get the ball back. But then they're going to have to open up their offense a little more. Trojans are doing a good job of stopping anything going wide, and Jason England perhaps is going to have to throw this ball in the second half and try to get the Trojan defense to respect the pass a little more.
Quickly here about the Longmont Trojans, a team we know they're the #1 seed. They've got a game coming here. We're going to try to find out who they'll play later on this afternoon. What do they have to do here? They're working on some playoff things as well.
Well, actually, they're running a fairly base offense right now. They're just going off tackle left, off tackle right, and they're going to run a little option up the middle. And the Trojans, as long as they can do that and stay comfortably in control of this ball game, they look to get out of this game healthy. They have a huge motivation factor for today's game, is they want to finish the regular season 10-0. They want to be one of the top seeds going into the playoffs, and they want to have that advantage.
Okay, let's go now to our IBM Academic Tributes. This is a chance where we give you a chance to see some of the people at their schools who make a difference. A couple of today, because we have Longmont and Skyline. They will be Katie Schell from Longmont and Shannon Clagg from Skyline on the IBM Academic Tribute.
Welcome to this week's IBM Academic Tribute. Join us in saluting St. Vrain Valley High School students for their academic excellence.
Hi, my name is Katie Schell. I'm a senior at Longmont High School, and my GPA is a 3.75. I'm on the girls varsity basketball team. I'm a forward, and I'm in National Honor Society and Fellowship of Christian Athletes. I'll be graduating in the spring of '98, and I plan to attend college, probably in-state, and hopefully play basketball.
Channel 3 and IBM salute this week's Academic Tribute. Welcome to this week's IBM Academic Tribute. Join us in saluting St. Vrain Valley High School students for their academic excellence.
Hi, my name is Shannon Clagg, and I'm a senior at Skyline High School. I have a GPA of 3.857. Right now I'm involved in softball, in National Honor Society and FBLA, and in the spring I will be playing tennis. I will be graduating in the spring of '98, and after that I plan to go to a four-year college. I really haven't decided where, but I'd like to major in engineering.
Channel 3 and IBM salute this week's Academic Tribute.
Welcome back to halftime of the Longmont Skyline game. The Trojans are ahead 13-0. Let's take a moment now and enjoy the Longmont High Trojan Marching Band.
1, 2, 3.
Hi, welcome to Rocky Mountain Paint and Body. My name is Casey. How can I help you today?
Since 1970, Rocky Mountain Paint and Body has been a family-owned and operated business in Longmont. We pride ourselves on being not only active in the Longmont community, but also for our exceptional customer service. We offer written warranties and use only high-quality DuPont paints. We come trusted and recommended by insurance companies and dealers. What we offer is quality, service, and integrity. Let us help you get through the insurance maze.
Give the gift that always fits and the one they wouldn't want to return. Call Visual Impact Photography today to schedule your uniquely different portrait for this holiday season.
Well, here I am in the rough again. My duffer keeps trying to golf with inferior gear. He obviously doesn't know about Golf USA. Uh-oh. Golf USA has great name brand golf gear like this!
Get a full set of AccuMark MP3 oversized irons, Tour Eagle genuine leather golf shoes, or the USA One, a complete set including 3 oversized woods.
Hey, golf's not a water sport. I wonder if Golf USA sells flippers.
A beautiful smile is one thing you can wear your whole life. And Dr. Richard McManaman has been helping make beautiful smiles in Longmont for over 20 years. Effective and affordable, modern orthodontics will improve the health and longevity of your teeth, whether you're young or old. Dr. McManaman offers free consultations, plus convenient evening hours and flexible payment plans. Call 772-7722 for an appointment or visit Dr. McManaman in the Centennial Shopping Center next to Safeway in Longmont.
And we're back here nearing the start of the second half on this Channel 3 IBM Game of the Week. Longmont Trojans a half away from a perfect season. They lead Skyline 13-0. And let's give us a chance here to see the team stretching, getting ready for the second half, to thank our sponsors. And we'll start things off, as always, with IBM. IBM connects with kids.
Blackjack Pizza, who feeds us for each and every game. We appreciate that.
Great pizza always. Herbert Motors, for all your automotive needs. Stop into Herbert Motors and experience their red carpet treatment.
Golf USA, for all your golfing needs before you go to play, come to Golf USA.
Dr. Richard McManaman has been serving Longmont's dysfunctional headache needs for over 23 years. He can help you with those.
Rocky Mountain Paint and Body, for quality service and integrity. Go to Rocky Mountain Paint and Body for all your collision and hail repair needs.
Stately Chiropractic, Dr. Stately and Lara Moore have successfully treated many sports-related injuries, and they are now accepting new patients.
Visual Impact Photography, full-service photography studio with a custom frame shop.
First National Bank of Longmont, your community for the next millennium.
And Front Range Indoor Flea Market, Longmont's largest upscale flea market. Features new and quality used furniture, smart living for less.
Stop by our sponsors and thank them and buy their products. Some you saw it here on Channel 3 that you saw them here. Remember, without them, folks, you don't get to see these games. And we can't say it enough, really. We cannot say it enough. These folks are the ones that allow you the chance to see these games. Get a chance to take a look here at our just a moment here.
Real quick, while we have a moment, let's talk about an honor that Coach Gordon Kramer received via the Denver Broncos in the Denver Post this week. And we'll see the stats here, so we'll finish this up a little later. Rushing for Skyline, 70 yards, Longmont 111. Passing just 1 yard for the Falcons, 44 for the Trojans on 3 of 8. Total yards, and total yards 71 for Skyline, 155 for the Trojans. Trojans passing 3 of 8, passing for the Falcons 1 of 5. Turnover for each team, penalties 3 for 14 for the Falcons and 3 for 30, and we have a false start on the kickoff. The ball falls off the tee. So we'll tee the ball up again and see if we can't finish this thing about Coach Kramer and the Denver Broncos Coach of the Week. Denver Broncos run this, and they pick a coach, schoolboy coach every week, and Coach Kramer, well deserving, gets several honors, $500 for the program. Short kickoff.
Trayson Adler fires it right straight out of bounds. Real quick about Gordon Kramer, he is the first coach from outside the city of Denver to be the Denver Bronco Coach of the Week.
And just a couple things to point out about Coach Kramer. 25 years here with the Trojans, 23 as head coach, and very successful. He's had 3 state championship teams, including a 45-0 winning streak, which is the largest in the large school district. You see Coach Kramer there in the hat. And at the end of the season, they'll have a Coach of the Year. And right now, my vote goes for Coach Kramer for Coach of the Year.
Chrisman keeps it, does the quarterback counter, and gets the ball is on the ground. I think Skyline has it. They do it. Turnover. Joe Chrisman fumbles the football on the first play of the first half. That'll give Skyline the ball. 1st and 10, the ball at the 40-yard line.
Well, Tony Canepa on the recovery there. Joe Chrisman pulls the ball down, goes into the line of scrimmage. The ball's knocked loose. And originally, it looked like the officials were going to mark the ball down, but Chrisman lost it, and possession goes over to the Falcons.
One thing is about Chrisman, one negative thing for him, he does have a problem with fumbleitis. He does put the ball on the ground, and it has been a problem with him. Now, last year, of course, that was mostly due to all the bad weather, but he has fumbled. England going to keep it on the quarterback option, gets away from a would-be tackler and gets upfield. Could have been a loss of 5, as out there was number 45, Barry Hansen, but England was able to pull out of Hansen's grasp and actually gain 3 yards for 2nd and 7.
Well, Hansen had turned him in, had a hold of him, and Jason England just strong enough to break out of the tackle. Picks up 4 yards on the play.
England, there you see him bringing the team up to the line. They trail by 13. They need to get back into this. Hand off to John to Garcia. Garcia gets a couple of yards. To set things again here for you, Skyline, if they win, will go to the playoffs for the first time since 1988. They will play the first #1 seed from the Centennial Conference. And that could be either Regis or Littleton. On the other side, Longmont, they have won the Northern Conference crown. They will be here against either Pueblo South or Pueblo Centennial. Here's the handoff. Get to Wade Glasser. Glasser will have the first down at the 29-yard line. So a big game at Dutch Clark Stadium, Greg, down in Pueblo between Pueblo South and Pueblo Centennial. That's always a huge rivalry, just like this crosstown game.
Well, a big in-town rivalry there in Pueblo. Greeley Central has beaten Pueblo South this year, so that kind of gives you a barometer where those two teams are. But with the assumption that the Trojans meet one of those two teams and will become victorious, then the Trojans have to look at Rampart coming out of the South, who is just supposed to be loaded this year.
Here's the handoff to Garcia. Garcia in some trouble, turned back inside and snowed under a sea of blue. We'll pick up a couple of yards. We're going to hopefully be able to find out who Longmont will take on. Now, Centennial has overall a better team out of the South Central Conference, better overall record, but both South and Central, Dutch Clark Stadium, a stadium where Longmont actually lost the state title at many years ago.
And we can't confirm it, but we believe that both of those teams out of Pueblo will be in the playoffs.
The winner will come to Longmont, we do know that. Glasser goes down, and he will lose about 2 yards.
And Kevin Gussie in on the tackle, so obviously back in the game, out there at the last part of the first half, not on the field.
Now, Skyline, you know, obviously they haven't been in the playoffs since '88. They haven't had a game really of any meaning, as we talked about, against the Longmont Trojans for quite some time. And this is a big game. This is a class that has not beat the Trojans. They haven't beat the Trojans in a decade. These guys want to turn it around. They got to make up some yardage here. England throws, has a receiver. He had Allison running a flag route from his tight end position, but it was very good defense from number 45, Barry Hansen.
Well, Hansen's in a chase coverage, which means he's going to run behind the receiver and does a good job watching Allison's eyes, puts the hand up, and just the ball not quite on target for the
England
completion.
floated that one out there, and it wasn't quite enough. It's 4th down, and no doubt that the Skyline Falcons are going for it. Ball inside the 30. 4th and 10 for the Falcons. A big play here for both teams. Skyline's got to have it. Garcia goes in motion. England dropping, looking, trying to set up a screen. They throw the ball, and it basically ends up throwing it away.
Well, they ran, I'm sorry, Michael, but they ran a little chair pattern out there with John Garcia. They run him out to the flat. As soon as the coverage comes up, he breaks up field. England, just not enough time to hang with the pattern. Had to throw the ball before he knew where Garcia was going to be.
They're trying to set up a little bit. It's kind of like a screen pass there. Let those defensive linemen come in there, but it happened so quickly they were unable to get things set up. And unfortunately, Skyline has to burn a timeout as they did not have their defensive unit on the field. Coming in is number 75, Brian Keogh, unable to get out there. So unfortunately, Skyline has to burn the timeout.
Let's take a quick look at some of the individual highlights of the first half. For Skyline, Glasser 8 carries, 15 yards. England 5 carries, 20 yards. Garcia on that sore ankle, 8 carries for 31 yards. Passing, England just 1 for 5 for a yard. And England also 5 punts for 26.6. So if you're a Skyline fan, maybe those aren't highlights, but those are the stats from the first half. For the Trojans, Chrisman 3 carries and a touchdown. Been sacked 1 time for a 5-yard loss. Wing 6 carries, 21 yards. Garcia 9 carries, 89 yards, touchdown.
And a fumble.
And a fumble. Passing today, Chrisman 3 passes completed on 8 attempts for 48 yards. Calamea 2 receptions for 38 yards. And for the punting, to give equal time to the punters, Earl 2 punts for a 32-yard average.
Here's a handoff to Garcia. Again, that play going outside, and Garcia gets good yardage. Knocked down hard by John Garcia, but not before he gains 12 yards, and that'll be enough for a first down for the Trojans at their own 40-yard line.
Well, Garcia runs a little off-tackle play one more time from the single running back position and just gets outside. Free safety Caballero comes up but cannot make the play.
1st and 10. Ball just past the 40. Garcia, the single back, tight formation, run it the other way. Same thing. Garcia trying to turn the corner. He'll get out there. He is wrapped up by Trayson Adler, but a gain of 6.
We'll have to take a look at the defensive alignment, but I believe they were in almost a 54 there as the free safety comes up and the Trojans just run away from the safeties.
Again, they just more blockers out there than there are pursuers, and that's why that play is working basically every time they do it.
Yeah, Skyline is running a 54. They've got a corner on one side and a safety on the receiver on the other side.
And they have all come up. Here's a pass, Calamea. Oh, had it go through his hands. He was one-on-one with Rafael Caballero. Caballero unable to turn around and look at it, but Calamea had the ball go through his hands.
Good look at Coach Kramer there. Also another honor for Coach.
Right.
Inducted into the Wyoming Sports Hall of Fame for his time on the Wyoming football team. In fact, the whole team inducted into the Hall of Fame. And the paper read down some of the great names that played on that team, including Jim Kick. So a good week for Coach Kramer.
Remember Jim Kick with that Dolphins team that went undefeated back in the early 70s, won the Super Bowl. Larry Zonka did most of the running along with Bob Greasy at quarterback. There's Chrisman. Chrisman's out in the flat, and he is knocked down, but not before a gain of 20 yards. He'll get down to the 35-yard line, and 1st and 10 for the Longmont Trojans, who are trying here early in this second half to give a statement to the Skyline Falcons and put this game away.
Just a little misdirection play. Joe Christmas starts the play off to the left. Skyline's got 10 guys on the line of scrimmage, so they start the misdirection one way, then run back against it. Creates a lot of room for Joe Christmas.
Skyline is selling out right now on the run. They have nobody back, basically. They have 11 guys up at the line of scrimmage right now, within 3 yards of the line of scrimmage.
They're playing a 54 defense.
And that one's thrown away by Chrisman. I think the cheerleader at the end of the liner had a better chance at that ball than the intended receiver, which I think was Nielsen.
I believe they were trying to set up a screen there to Nielsen as they had the offensive lineman down the field just a little bit. So the Skyline able to blow that play up.
Yep.
Once again, we're talking about the Skyline defense playing a 54. They got 5 down linemen, they got 4 linebackers, and they've gone to man-to-man coverage with just 2 cover guys on the wide receivers.
Yeah, they got single coverage out there if they can lock up some guys and get some good passes off here. But right now the run is working so well, even though they got basically all 11 guys within 3 yards of the ball. Trojans still moving it. Here's the handoff, though. Garcia in a lot of trouble, and he is brought down by number 75, Brian Keogh. There you see him. Big Brian gets the play for a loss of about 7 yards on that one.
Look for the Trojans to stick with some misdirection, maybe run a reverse or some kind of throwback pass to the quarterback. With this much pursuit coming, you want to really take advantage of the aggressiveness of the defense. And typically when you've got a defense playing this aggressively, if you work a play successfully on some kind of trick play, you're talking about hanging 6 points on the board.
3rd down and long. Staying back the block. Going to air it out. He's got Magley. Intercepted nearly by Trayson Adler, who had it in his hands.
Well, the pass was on the mark. Trayson Adler makes a great play, making an adjustment to the ball. It looks like he cut it a little short at first, but he's able to jump up, get the hands on the pass as Magley was making his way behind him.
That's the second time Magley's been behind Adler, but Adler showing good closing speed, able to get back. First time knocked one away, would have been a touchdown in the end zone. Tipped that one away. That one there had in his hands, should have been intercepted. It will force a punting situation. Again, they're in Longmont territory. We'll see if they do a fake here. Kurt Earl tentatively back to kick. He will do so, gets the kick away. It's going to go out of bounds somewhere inside the 20.
Well, Kurt needs some acting lessons there because Kurt did have some contact, but maintain an upright position. You got to teach those punters that if someone's within 6 inches of you, you got to fall and you got to be hurt.
Fall down and grab your leg. That is exactly what you have to do if you're the punter. And you're right, there was some contact. And the referee thought about throwing the flag there, Greg. I think you and I both saw him. He thought about it. He was going to go back. But I think you're right. Earl didn't show anything, so the referee said, I'll just not do so.
Get a good look at the football there. TD, something that the Skyline Falcons have not been able to do today.
There's a handoff. And getting outside there, Garcia had one more player to beat and was looking at a long run to the end zone. John Garcia gets about a 21-yard run out of that.
Well, John Garcia has been the most effective runner for the Skyline Falcons, and he just finds some room in the middle. 3 missed tackles before Nathan Froelich can put him down on the ground.
Yeah, Garcia, you remember we heard from Jeff Pfeiffer about the dinged up ankle. Well, he doesn't look to be in too much pain right now anyway, running well. There's a penalty flag coming in. Glasser carried the ball, but this will be a hold against the Falcons.
Thrown right in the vicinity of holding. You expect the Trojans to follow that Skyline huddle back 10 yards.
They'll definitely take that one out. If hold was a couple of yards downfield, they're going to mark it back from the line of scrimmage. It is from the line of scrimmage, so it'll be 2nd and 20.
And once again, that penalty gets marked off at the spot of the hold, not where the ball is at the time, but
happened right at the line, so it will be 1st and 20. Clock rolls with 6 minutes to go here in the 3rd quarter. And a 13-0 lead for the Longmont Trojans. England dropping back, airs it out, going downfield for Glasser. Double coverage there as both Workman and number 44, Brad Harvey, were back with the coverage. And Glasser, that ball would have had to been on the money from England in order to get the reception there. Good defense.
Well, Jason England does have a big-time arm, just unable to put it in the right vicinity.
So it will be 2nd down and 20. I think England was looking to go shorter on that last pass play, but good pressure from the defensive line. See what he does here. Going to hand the ball off and getting a couple out of that. I believe that's Garcia. It is.
You can see Garcia get up a little slowly. Jed Schutze on the tackle.
So 3rd down and long. 16 yards to go for the 1st down. Skyline needs to get some yards back, Rick, so even if they have to punt the ball, at least they can force the field position a little bit further down for the Longmont Trojans. England dropping, looking. They have a screen set to Allison. If they get some blocks, he might get some good yards. But someone came up from behind there. Nice play. Was that number 58? It was Jason Giles. Comes up from behind and trips him up. It's a good gain, but it's a 4th down and 8. Got half of it back.
They put 2 receivers wide to the left and throw the screen back to the right, and you saw Giles coming in low in for the tackle.
So Aaron Garcia to receive the punt from Jason England. The kick is away. England gets this one high. He's kicking much better into the wind. And Garcia decides to catch that one without the fair catch, and a lot of white and red right there. Hits him hard.
Well, Garcia's wanted his hands on that ball on the punts all day long, and finally gets his opportunity and pays the price for it.
1st and 10.
During halftime, there were some announcements about some of the awards the Trojan band had won, and Aaron Garcia had to leave practice early one night this week. He's a drum major in the band.
Today, though, he is the running back on the football team. They're going to hand the ball off to Wing. He gets through. Wing is at midfield, cuts back inside, and he is knocked out at the 43-yard line. 1st and 10 on a gain of about 26 yards.
Good straight-ahead run right off tackle there for Sean Wing. He's big and he's fast, but at the end of this run, you'll see that he's maybe not so nimble. As you see him trying to make the cut there, Trayson Adler stops him down, and the Skyline defense comes up from behind. But when I see Sean Wing next week, I'm going to tell him he's as nimble as he wants to.
I tell you what, I think he made a pretty good move there. The guy did miss him. He wanted him to. Hand off to Garcia. Wrapped up here. Host of white jerseys. Brian Keogh there. Also in on the tackle was John Garcia. The bottom of the pile there. Gain of 2. So 2nd down and 8.
A modest gain for the Trojans there. Trojans back in the I formation, trying to get the Skyline defense off the line of scrimmage a little bit.
Here's hand off to Wing again. Wing has a hole, but it was wrapped up quickly by Jason Allison, making a good play by Allison there, Greg, because if he doesn't come up with that, Wing's got the 1st down. But Allison's hung right in there and grabbed Sean Wing, wrapped him up, and it was only about a 2, maybe 3-yard gain.
Big play here for the Skyline defense. Cannot afford to fall any farther behind.
Nope, not at all. They have been losing the battle of field position, which right now, that's really Longmont would just rather win that and continue to keep the score the way it is, because that really helps them with the field position. They are forcing Skyline to start from deep in their own territory. There is a handoff. Garcia smashed right away. Brian Keogh in there.
Jeff Simmering also in on the tackle.
Fired in there, both of those guys in there for the tackle, bringing up 4th down. The ball is at the 39-yard line on 4th down and 5.
No punt team out for the Trojans. So,
well, this is a chance for Skyline to get the ball back and at least have decent field position. They really need to stop them here. We're coming up on 2 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. 4th and 5. Big, huge play for the Skyline defense. Dropping back. And the ball's knocked away. And Jason England got his hand right on the hand of Joe Chrisman. He was just going to throw the ball. Joe Chrisman ended up throwing that ball right into the back of one of his blockers. That was because of good hustle out of Jason England, who came from his linebacker position, lining up basically on the defensive line, got out there and went around his blocker, got his hand in there, and made a good play.
Well, good hustle play by Jason England. Joe Chrisman had B.J. Nelson breaking on a 10 and out, or 10 and in, sorry, cutting back across the field, and that ball was going to be completed if Chrisman doesn't get hit by England. So big play for the Falcons.
1st and 10, ball to 39, change of possession on downs. England's going to keep it, cuts inside, has good yardage, breaks through. It's got foot race now. He cuts back inside, still getting his block, and he's going to be caught from behind at the 15. Used his blocker instead of trying to beat Brad Harvey with his speed.
Come on,
Good run, though, from Jason England. A huge play. They had to have that 46 yards. They get the ball to the 15, and we'll look at it on the replay.
Starts out as just a run to the right, cuts it back up the middle. Jeremy Rohde can't make the tackle. Gussie misses, and here England gets a little fancy trying to follow his blocker, gets caught from behind. But the best positive play that the Falcons have had in this ballgame.
Jason Glenski was the one out there blocking. I like what England did. He needed to have another block from Brad Harvey. Brad Harvey had it, and that's John Garcia getting ahead for about 5 yards. Brad Harvey would have been able to cut him down on the angle. He waited for one more block, just unfortunately for Jason England. They're able to come up and catch him from behind, but a great run. Gets the ball to the 15, and after Garcia's run, they're at the 10. 2nd down and 5.
And back-to-back good plays by Jason England, both on the defensive side and then on the offensive side.
Good point.
And Skyline knocking on the door, the 10-yard line.
Now they got to put a touchdown on the board right now. We're coming up to the end of the 3rd quarter. They cannot afford to come away without a touchdown. Here's a handoff that's going to be down near 1st down yardage. It'll be just a bit short.
Glasser just right in the middle, coming off the left flank of the tee.
So Glasser makes it a 3rd and 1. And this is 2-down territory for Skyline. Can't be kicking field goals now. England. Fumble. I think Longmont got it. We'll see here. I'm not sure what happened, if that was an exchange problem or Jason England just dropped it.
We see right in the pile right there.
I think Skyline's got it.
And
no,
one of the Trojan players comes out of the pile. I believe it's Robinson.
We'll see. There's
with the ball.
There's the call. Oh, that's gigantic. That is a backbreaker, maybe a season breaker for the Skyline Falcons.
See it right there. And he stuck it in the belly of Glasser, I believe. And the ball goes down on the ground. And once again, we talked about the Trojans being able to recover those fumbles in the pile. Glenn Robinson comes out of the pile with it.
Well, that was an instance there where the defensive line fired in so nicely. By the time Glasser got the ball, he was already being tackled. Never had his hands on it. And that's, again, a huge fumble. If Skyline cannot hold right now, they may not get any other chances like that. At the very least, that'll be the end of the 3rd quarter. And at the end of the 3rd quarter, which goes on a down note for the Skyline Falcons, the Longmont Trojans, a quarter away from a perfect season, they lead it 13-0 over Skyline Falcons.
You don't have to search far to find the best tasting pizza. Just call Blackjack right here in Longmont. Locally owned and operated, Blackjack has the largest selection of all your favorite toppings, with our dough and sauce made fresh daily. Our talented team of pizza makers take pride in creating the best pies every time you order. So why call anywhere else? With carry-out, dine-in, delivery, and weekly specials, you can't go wrong with Blackjack. Visit Blackjack Pizza today or call 776-1900 for takeout or delivery.
And we're back here for the start of the 4th quarter. 13-0. Skyline just having fumbled the football down deep in Longmont territory. Chrisman looking, going to do the quarterback keep counter, bouncing around, and will be near first down yardage. About 3 missed tackles there because of Chrisman.
That play works as a misdirection. You start to flow off to the right. Looks like it's going to be the little off-tackle play. Chrisman keeps the ball, finds the hole to the left side, and just weaves his way through.
And gets down to a third down and 1. Skyline's defense has to hold here. They've got to get Longmont stopped deep in their own territory so they start winning the battle of field position and get some points on the board. Going to come all out here, hand the ball off to Garcia. He will have the first down. So Aaron Garcia gets the first down, and Jeff Pfeiffer gets the sideline report. Jeff.
Thanks, Mike. Several weeks ago when Niwot played Longmont, we saw Kramer's platoon system just wear down the Niwot team. This week, I think we're saying the same thing. When I'm seeing the Skylines players, who half their team is going both ways, they're coming off this field exhausted. Back to you.
Now, that's one of the things. We've talked about it so many times, how Longmont, for the most part, outside of maybe a couple of players, and usually, of course, they're the best athletes they've got, they don't go on both sides of the ball. That makes a difference deep and late in these football games. Here is the handoff. Garcia wrapped up. He's going to get a few on that.
Well, when you look at the Trojans, you talk about the platoon system. I believe really the only guy that's going both ways, with the exception of the defensive line, is Sean Wing.
Sean Wing, yep, exactly. By and large, this is a team that, other than Sean Wing, they don't have many players. And we talk about that. That's a difference that it makes for, you know, the upper crust teams, or the teams that can do that. Of course, we saw a great Wheatridge team last year. They had guys going both ways. They were just a great, talented team. Davis loses a couple on that. But not very often you have a team like what Wheatridge had last year, Greg. They had so much talent. Those guys going on both sides of the ball, they were unstoppable both ways.
Well, and they had a couple guys that were just incredible players. I mean,
yeah, they had the twin brothers. They also had
Gallimores and
their quarterback also. I mean, yeah, those were just some athletes. You just couldn't keep them off the field. 10 minutes to go here in the ball game. Longmont, all they really want to do now is just grind it out. They have 3rd down and 9. And again, Skyline's got to come up big here on defense. Can't say it enough at this point. They've got to hold. Here's the drop, looking for Calamea, and the pass is there, and it is incomplete. Ball bouncing around. Both the receiver and the defender almost had the ball. That was number 24, Richard Dennis.
Well, let's give some credit to the Skyline defensive backs today. Longmont has tried to stretch the field out on them, but Caballero, Adler, Dennis have all done a good job of getting back on coverage when it looked like they might have been beat early.
Wade Glasser back to receive the punt. I expect they'll punt the ball here on 4th down and 9. Earl, the kicker, standing at about his 12-yard line. Here's the snap. Some pressure from Skyline. They don't get to it. The ball takes a bounce for Longmont. Real nice for Kurt Earl. He'll like that. Someone touched the ball trying to knock it forward. The referee, unimpressed by that, will mark the ball where it was touched.
And that time,
43.
And that time, watching Kurt Earl, he was looking for somebody to get close to him.
Yeah.
He was looking the ball that time. So obviously they must have said something to him on the sideline.
He got the ball off nicely, though. A good punt there. 37 yards on the punt, no return. Got help on the roll. 1st and 10. Skyline again. Now they're finally winning the battle of field position. That's going to do them no good in about 9.5 minutes if they don't put some points on the board now. They got to drive right now. They give the ball to John Garcia. Garcia wrapped up after about a 2-yard gain to the 45. 2nd down and 8. You can just figure there's not very many possessions left for the Skyline Falcons, Greg. I mean, you know, they've got to get this one here. They've got to find a way to get a touchdown. Unless Longmont makes mistakes, Skyline's just running out of time on their season.
And that's one of the problems when you don't have a quick strike offense.
And Skyline does not. That's the one thing. They do not have a quick strike offense. England rolling, throwing through the hands of Allison, and Brad Harvey went to the head. So it'll be 3rd down. Ball at the 45, 8 yards to go. Skyline. If they have a 9-yard play, they better pull it out right now. Are they going to run that full house backfield? Looks like they will. Garcia goes in motion. England, they're going to counter to Allison. Defense is all over that play, though. He didn't gain anything. And now if you're Bob Napton, it's decision time. Well, he's going to send out the punting unit.
I'm not so sure that's the punting unit, is maybe an additional set of wide receivers. We'll have to see if England does drop back in punt formation.
He might be right. Yeah, they're going to drop him back in 4th down. 8:24. This is the last time they'll punt, you know that. See if they fake it. They did earlier. Glasser is the up man. England gets it, booms this one. Nice kick. Garcia has it at about the 22. Nearly wrapped up. He's going to turn the corner. He's got room. He's got a wall of blockers, and he is knocked out of bounds at the 43. A flag comes in. It's going to come back. We're going to have a clip downfield or illegal block to the back.
Way behind the play also.
James Gabler back there arguing the call. I don't know if it's on him or not, but it's...
We have another flag up on the Trojan sidelines, and I think they're going to call an unsportsmanlike for a late hit on the play up the field, Michael. So we're going to have 2 flags on this play.
This could be real big.
One's going to be against Skyline. One's going to be against Longmont. We're going to have to find out if it's post-possession or a dead ball foul on the personal foul.
Well, I think what they'll do is, I was going to say, if it's the dead ball, as you mentioned, they'll mark off the penalty, the clipping penalty, then they'll mark off the personal foul, which should be right about where the flags are at, where the penalty took place, because I think they're both, it depends on what the calls are. We'll see what they are right now. Personal foul against the Trojans, dead ball foul, unsportsmanlike conduct against Skyline. So they're both, what they are is they are both basically personal fouls, so they're going to offset and go back to where the penalty flags went down.
Well, and we'll find out if they're going to march 30 feet, you know.
Yeah, you can march 15 one way and come back 15 the other, so there'd be no reason to do that, of course.
Especially since it's the start of a possession and the marking of the ball doesn't affect the first down measurement or anything.
Yeah, it doesn't. That's absolutely correct. You don't have anything to mark off. Where the flags were dropped is where the penalty, essentially that's what they say where the penalty took place at. The first penalty against Longmont was a personal foul, and it was down at about the 30-yard line. Look now, are they going to mark this off?
I think they are debating the issue right now.
Yeah, I don't know why they would want to do that.
The one official wants to mark it off, and he will.
Yeah, he's going to mark it off. Half the distance to the goal. Okay, that might be what the difference is. Half the distance to the goal line. That's what it is. And then they get to come back 15. So Longmont will actually pick up about 3 yards. They did all that. I tell you what, he only walked about 2 yards difference when it was all said and done from where they were going to start that whole thing at.
Well, I was going to tell you, if they were going to go 15 yards one way and then walk back 15 yards the other way, there's a few efficiency experts I could recommend to them.
Yeah, exactly. I think you still could. I don't see the need for what they just did, but it did give. It was half the distance on the penalty.
It's called higher math, Michael.
So, okay, there you go. I only went to calculus. I wasn't quite up high enough, I guess. That was tipped there at the line, I believe, by Brian Keogh. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Longmont at this point now, and again, you know, I know they're not looking ahead. They like to win these football games, get it done, but they're working on the pass a lot in this game, Greg. You have to think they're looking to the playoffs.
Well, when the Trojans became very successful, they became a very well-balanced team. The passing game for the Trojans just has not been as sharp as they want it to be yet this year.
It has not. We're in the last game of the season, and Joe Chrisman, a guy who has all kinds of athletic ability but not the greatest passer, has to try to get that down. They're going to do a reverse here to Sean Wing. Wing in a lot of trouble, though, and he will stay on his feet and pay for it. He'll lose yardage.
what makes this reverse really unique is where this reverse comes from. They started off as an off-tackle play, and Sean Wing comes out of a tight end position to take this ball on the reverse.
Usually you see a wide receiver do that. Instead, they went to a tight end, but that was read nicely.
One of the things that does is really flattens out the arc at which the receiver can go back around, and what it does is you're not running behind the pursuit.
Here we go. Here's the hand. Oh, he's going to keep it. Chrisman has the ball tipped again at the line of scrimmage. I'm not sure if that was Dan Benedict who did that. Glasser, the one who tipped the ball. So that will bring up 4th down and 13.
Good stand by the Falcon defense there. Of course, the Trojans, as you said, possibly trying to work on a few things.
Well, it looks to me like they are, because again, this is a team that wants to run the ball effectively, and they can, obviously. They need, however, to get that pass play down. Lots of pressure. Earl gets it away. Glasser has it at the 43-yard line. Jukes and jives and still has the ball at the 43-yard line. 1st and 10.
Now it's time for the Skyline offense to show what they can do.
Yeah, this is it. There's 7 minutes, 1 second left. They have got to go downfield right now and get a touchdown. Again, barring mistakes or turnovers by the Trojans, they're not going to get much better field position than what they've got now. And they've got pretty good field position. Ball's at the Longmont 43, or Skyline 43, excuse me. So
they're breaking the T, and they're going to go with a single back, 2 slot receivers, and a wide receiver.
Looks like they're going to be throwing the ball quite a bit. England in some pressure, gets away to Wade Glasser, and depending upon the spot, will have the 1st down. He's going to be short because he came back a little bit for the ball, so it'll be 2nd down and about 1.
The officials doing a good job to eye up the line of scrimmage there to make sure England did not cross it. And a good play by the Falcons. We've not seen them break the T very often this year.
Well, they really have no choice. That's not working, and as you mentioned, that's not a quick strike offense. They've got to get not only 1 touchdown, they got to get 2 touchdowns. England there on a good play to pass that ball, was being held at the time. England coming around, full blitz on. England in trouble. He's got to dump it, and he does. A good play there by Jason England.
A real good play to get rid of that ball, as England had Trojans all over him in Jed Schutze and Jeremy Rohde.
Berkello was the intended receiver. They're going to have to block better than that because England has got to have some time. And right now, it's like you like to say, Greg, it's just a jailbreak from that defensive line. They're all over Jason England. And they are blitzing as well. Bringing in their linebackers. They know Skyline wants to throw the ball.
Well, and Skyline really should be able to strike a little fear in opponents with their speed. They got Ryan Berkello, who was the letterman in track, and they've got Trayson Adler, who's very quick. And they'll run the screen back.
Good play. Glasser's got the 1st down and more. He's in the Trojan territory. The ball at the 41-yard line, a gain of 9 yards. So Skyline has some life.
Starting to wonder if maybe Brad Harvey might have a shoulder problem here. If you watch the way he comes up on the tackle, he just goes down low and makes Glasser go up over him.
First and 10. Again, that's 3 wide receivers now to the top of the screen. Glasser in the backfield. Getting lots of pressure, set up a screen play again. Oh, boy, I tell you what, very nearly intercepted. They're awful lucky that Barry Hansen didn't get to that because he read it all the way.
Well, and the offensive line really gave that play away early by how easily they let the defensive line release. Barry Hansen's eyes just got as big as could be as he saw he was going to have an opportunity to run up and make a play on the ball.
Actually, the offensive player, I think it was Glasser, was able to get between Hansen and the ball just enough that he wasn't able to intercept it.
Shotgun formation.
First time we've seen that today, although we have seen England do that in the past. England airs it out, and overthrows his intended receiver. Was going for Adler, but number 24, Kevin Gussie, was the closest person to that ball. And that's just that timing pattern, an out and up run by the receiver.
Big third down play here. You don't need to get it all in one play, but you need to at least get 5-6 yards, make the third down conversion or the fourth down conversion a little simpler.
Yeah.
But this is definitely 4 down territory.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt they'll be going for it here the rest of the way out. They have under 6 minutes now to go. England has time this time, gets the pass away and through the hands at the sidelines there.
2 receivers in the area, Norilius and also Seth Haley.
And it's 4th down and 10, and Skyline, which had to burn a timeout earlier in the first half. In fact, I think it was the very first defensive play they had in the second half, excuse me. They only have 1 more remaining. And they got to talk about this one because they got to get 10 yards.
Yeah, don't be surprised if you see England come back, and if he doesn't see anything he likes right away, he may take off up the field, try to get the 10 yards himself.
Just try to use his athletic ability and try to find a way to get 10 yards and an inch, because he's got to get that first down. There's 5:47 remaining in the ball game, and they're down by 2 touchdowns. So they're talking about it. This could be the season for the Skyline Falcons.
Coach Mike Canals out there talking over the strategy, the offensive coordinator, also basketball coach.
Mike talking to his receivers, and he's a guy who works with the receivers primarily as the coach, and splits out 3 to the top of the screen. They're going to go from the shotgun formation. England dropping, looking, firing, intercepted!
Workman on the interception.
And Workman gets the ball, Workman-like, back up to the 44-yard line. And that might be enough for the Longmont Trojans. 5:37 remaining in the ball game, and Longmont gets it on the interception. And in that situation there, so much pressure from Jason England, Greg, he basically had to try to fire the ball in there. You see here, look at all this pressure. He had to fire and just hope one of his guys came up with it. And frankly, I don't think his receiver was looking for the ball.
His receiver's still running up the field, and Workman able to come up and make a play. But England's out of time. He's got to get rid of the ball.
Yeah, the blocking there, the scheme is just not working. Longmont is all over Jason England. There's just not much he can do. He really had to try to throw that one. Here's Chrisman getting the ball away. Adler nearly got the interception. Magley, though, was the intended receiver.
The Skyline defensive backs have been doing a good job. There's not been a lot of open wide receivers for the Trojans today.
Well, I expect they're going to keep working on the pass.
As long as they've got a 2-touchdown cushion, they can afford to do that.
Yep, exactly. That's the thing. They have the cushion, the luxury of a 13-point lead with 5.5 to go in the ball game. So now they can work. They can work on the pass game and hopefully try to get some of the things taken care of as they start their playoff march. Here is the handoff, some pressure there from Garcia, and he is wrapped up and taken down by a bunch of Falcons. Joe Calanda among others in there. Gain of about a yard. And coming up on 5 minutes to go in the ball game, 5 minutes in Skyline season, if they don't shut down Longmont right away.
Third down play, big play for the Skyline Falcons.
Chrisman's going to keep it. He's not going to have the first down. He's short by 4 yards. So the ball is at the Skyline 49-yard line, and they're going to bring in the punting unit here on 4th down and 4. Kurt Earl back, standing about his 38-yard line. Wade Glasser, what a time for him if he can return one. This would be a big chance. Oh, great effort trying to get in there to the block was Raquello. And Glasser given no chance at all by Earls. He kicks the ball straight up, comes down at the 25-yard line. And we'll go down for Jeff and a sideline report.
Thanks, Mike and Greg. To show what kind of superior talent this Longmont team has, it's a little known fact that when the seniors on this team were freshmen, they also went undefeated as on the regular season. So this class of 98 has been playing superior football for a long time. Back to you.
Now this team started off freshmen, undefeated as freshmen, trying to go out as seniors undefeated.
The Longmont football factory continues. Good freshman class this year.
Yep, they got good team. England in the shotgun. Again, he's way too much pressure. Jason England hucks the ball downfield. I don't know. Again, we can't say it enough. There's got to be something. At this point, I would almost say save it about put 9 guys back to block for England so he at least has a chance to throw. And you're right. It looks like he's hurt.
Jason England walking back to the huddle, hanging the right arm, and throwing off balance, very difficult to do, and also opens yourself up for the way you fall after the play.
Well, he's getting hit, he's getting clobbered. So, this offensive line has got to try to do well. They're setting up another screen play. All kinds of trouble. The ball intercepted. No, he dropped the ball. He dropped the ball. Big number 58, Jason Giles, had the ball in his hands. Not used to it there, Greg.
Well, Jason's not going to be able to go into the coaching staff this week and ask for a jersey that starts with an 8. He's not going to be a wide receiver, that's for sure.
And that ball was right there. I mean, it just lobbed into his hands, basically, as Jason England under so much pressure. And again, they're trying to set up those screen passes and having a real difficult time doing so.
Well, you run the screen pass to try to slow down the rush, but it's just encouraging Longmont's rush to come in.
England there had a little bit of time before Gabler came in under pressure, and the pass was incomplete, trying to get the ball out to number 34, Bukello. And Ryan has not had the ball in his hands very much today from his wide receiver position.
England just 4 for 20 on the day. He's faced a lot of pressure.
Wow. They are going to punt the ball with 3:44 left. Got to question this call. I know it's deep in their own territory. Going to hope for a defensive turnover, I believe. There's the ball bounce. He takes the Skyline, or Longmont bounce. Someone's got to jump on that ball for Skyline. It'll be down at the 47-yard line. Here's the point I want to make. The ball would have been at the 25 or so, 1st and 10 for Longmont. The ball's at the 47, 1st and 10 for Longmont. Only about a 22-yard difference. And you didn't give yourself a chance to get that first down on 4th down there.
Well, one of the things that you got to look at there for the Skyline coaching staff is, are you having, or do you have any hope in, basically, have you shown anything trying to make your plays? And really, Longmont's defense has dictated to them that they're not going to have that success.
Well, Skyline's had a lot of success, and a penalty flag flies in on holding. But Skyline's defense has done real well. There's been no points scored in the second half. Longmont has been working on the pass quite a bit, which is not wholly unexpected. There you see the call. But really just asking their defense now to try to do something, anything, to get the ball. And now Skyline has to have a turnover. 3.5 to go in the ball game.
Yeah, I believe they only have one timeout.
Yeah, they only have one timeout left. Again, they used one early. They used one on their last possession when they had 3rd down and long. They've got just one more left. 3rd down, or 1st down and 22. 1st and 22. And Chrisman dropping back, looking under some pressure, gets it away, gets it to B.J. Nielsen, who slips the tackler, and Rafael Caballero wraps him up and brings him down, but they got back 16 of that 22 yards, maybe even 17.
Good job by Joe Chrisman stepping up in the pocket, filling the pressure, steps up, delivers the ball.
You'll see on the replay, this is Chrisman's best pass of the day.
He's getting pressure from the outside. England stepping up, just barely gets it off. Nielsen makes some yardage of his own after the catch.
Good play by Nielsen. So second down. Chrisman looking, firing, gets it out to Calamea. Calamea has the first down, and that's a backbreaker for the Skyline defense. And he stays inbound. Did he get out of bounds? Looks like he got out of bounds. But it will be a first down. And that's the thing that's the killer, is the first down. 4 more downs for the Trojans. It did stay inbound, so the clock runs. Everything bad on that play. Jason England trying to get back into the play that you see him coming in. Jason's hurt, you can tell. And tired. He's gone this whole game. He has played every play. And there's a big play, a sack there. 79, Dan Benedict also got help from Brian Keel, but Benedict just blasted off and got in there and gets the sack.
Well, Chrisman steps back. He takes a little two-step drop, looking for a quick pass, and knows nobody's there, so he pulls it down, just going to let the play go from that point.
So a loss there, about 7. And we're under a minute and a half to go in the ball game, so Skyline may not even get the ball back again. Here's Chrisman's throw behind. Nielsen catches it. The ball was tipped. He was trying to get the pass to number 46, Chris Spahn. Spahn had the ball bounce off of him. B.J. Nielsen at the right place at the right time catches the ball, and that should be the ball game. I don't think Skyline can get the ball back with $1:10 to go. So the clock will roll, 22 seconds. Skyline has 1 timeout. Coach Bob Napton coaching his heart out from the other side of the field, but his team will not go to the playoffs. A very good season, though, for the Skyline Falcons. Here's the pitch to Garcia. Garcia trying to turn the corner. He's got a good gain. The Skyline team, though, that will finish the season at 500. Joe Chrisman, a guy who's had 8 touchdown passes, 7 interceptions, working on that passing for this year. And Jason England, he had 5 touchdown passes on the season, 8 interceptions. Sean Wing, good running back for the Longmont Trojans, 6.3 yards per carry. Chrisman looking to throw, has it out to Nielsen. Nielsen's inside the 5, and B.J. Nielsen will slip the tackle of Richard Dennis and scores a touchdown with 6 seconds to go in the ball game. The Longmont Trojans, 19-0 is the lead, and again, there's only 6 seconds to go in this ball game, so Skyline will get the ball back. Taking a look here at the numbers on B.J. Nielsen. 16.3 yards per catch average. Has 9 receptions for 147 yards. The kick is no good again. That's another sore spot for the Longmont Trojans. B.J. Nielsen and his extra points has had some problems on that, as we have seen in our games. That's the second miss he's had today. B.J. again pushed the ball to the right. So it's 19-0 with 6 to go, and here's the replay.
Joe Chrisman steps back. He's got a little out pattern going to the flats, and Nielsen makes the tackler miss him, goes in for the score, and the Trojans go up 19-0.
Well, Dennis, on that man-to-man coverage, you have to wrap up and bring them down because you don't have anybody else out there helping you out. So B.J. Nielsen gets himself a touchdown. And that makes this Longmont side very happy.
Trojan passing game looked good. Looked good on that drive. Looked well.
Yep. They had a good drive there. So-so results for the game, but good on that drive. They'll have to take that into the season. Here is the kick. Clock rolling. This could be the last play of the game. It's brought down. There will be one more play. Nope, they run it out. That will be the last play of the ball game. That'll do it here from Everly Montgomery Field. The crosstown rivalry for the 11th year in a row goes to the Longmont Trojans as you see the teams line up to shake hands here. A very game Skyline football team. Unable to have an answer, though, for the powerful Longmont Trojans. And the Trojans win again. The score here, an undefeated season for the Longmont Trojans. 10-0, 19-0. The final here from Everly Montgomery Field. The Trojans go out 10-0, Skyline 5-5. And we'll hope to find out who Longmont gets to play in the playoffs a little bit later on here. As we wrap things up with our post-game report coming up after this on the Longmont Channel 3 IBM Game of the Week.
A beautiful smile is one thing you can wear your whole life. And Dr. Richard McManaman has been helping make beautiful smiles in Longmont for over 20 years. Effective and affordable, modern orthodontics will improve the health and longevity of your teeth, whether you're young or old. Dr. McManaman offers free consultations, plus convenient evening hours and flexible payment plans. Call 772-7722 for an appointment or visit Dr. McManaman in the Centennial Shopping Center next to Safeway in Longmont.
Convenience, safety, and competitive rates can all be found at your community bank with 2 full-service locations in Longmont. At First National Bank, select from a variety of different accounts, from our free Spirit checking to the Spirit package account for seniors. Choose from these options to fit your personal situation. At First National Bank of Longmont, we're here for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call us anytime. First National Bank of Longmont, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Rocky Mountain Paint and Body has been providing quality service and integrity since 1970, now with 200 years combined experience and ICAR Gold status. As a DuPont AOQ facility, we specialize in restoring late model unibodies and trucks to their pre-accident condition. We're experts at insurance claims handling and are trusted by major insurance companies as their direct repair facility. Hassle-free repair, pickup and delivery, and up to 5-year written warranty. At Rocky Mountain Paint and Body, we want your business.
Look at these beautiful dinette sets. Expensive? What if I told you they start at just $139? Or how about this sofa love seat from $489? Where can you get terrific bargains on quality furniture? You won't believe me, so I'll show you. These single mattress sets for just $169. Well, my time is up. What's the secret for new furniture at discount prices? The Front Range Indoor Flea Market. If you don't believe me, come see for yourself. 1420 Nelson Road in Longmont.
If Thomas Jefferson were alive today, he'd be a public access member. If Ben Franklin were alive, he'd be making public access programs for the masses. If George Washington were alive, he'd be saying... For more information about public access, call Tom Lewis, Public Access Coordinator, at 776-1424.
Welcome back to Everly Montgomery, where the Longmont Trojans have just defeated the Skyline Falcons. Coach Gordon Kramer's gone in to celebrate his undefeated season with his team. We have Skyline coach Bob Napton down with Michael Rail.
A big thanks to Coach Bob Napton. Tough game here. What was the difference for your team against this Longmont team?
I don't know if we were as sharp on offense as if we have been. We didn't hit it up there and run it up there as quite as good as we've done in the past few weeks. But, you know, they're a lot tougher. That's probably the toughest defense we faced, and they do a lot of good things, and especially on their offense. They do a lot of good things on offense, and you got to be able to adjust and adjust quick and to stay with them. So they're a tough team, and they're a good team. They're well coached.
Let's talk about your team. Well coached, also a good team. I know it's tough, you know, to make the playoffs, but you have to be happy with where your program, since you have taken over, has gone.
Well, our goal was to get up to be 500 or better this year, and we reached that. We want to use this, you know, to be able to pick up and start off next year. We got a lot of kids back. We're only losing a handful of seniors, and you know, we want to pick up from where we left off right here and get going and get after it next year. So
let's talk about next year real quick. Like here, do you like your team? Are you going to have good size, good speed, those kinds of things you got to have here to be real competitive in this Northern Conference?
Yeah, we're going to be okay. We got a lot of kids back. We could use a little more size, and but that's why we're going to get kids in the weight room. We've got a lot of young kids that's been playing, and they'll be back. And we got, you know, we had a good season as far as getting our attitude up and getting up around the corner and getting 500. So, and they know most games we played this year we were in and we could have won, and that's what they needed to know. They need to know that. Congratulations on a good season for your team. Thank you. Coach Bob Knapton of Skyline, a guy who's done a good effort, and we'll let him step on out of here and let Greg Herman come on in. Thank you very much, Coach. And, you know, echoing some of what Bob Knapton said before we talk about the Trojans, he's got himself a team that's coming back, and we know he has turned the program around. Give a lot of credit to the coach for what he has done.
Well, he's got himself a good young program, and that's what's important. He's got all these guys coming back. And another plus for next year, I believe the Trojans step up to 5A, so there's an opening for, and at least to say, no defending conference champion next year.
And they'll be a much better team. Now, talking about the Longmont Trojans, they finished the season undefeated for the first time since '91. We saw them the last 3 games of the season, and they continue to be so impressive at the place where both you and I like. That's the point of attack on the offense and defensive lines.
Well, they control the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball, and the one thing they have is they have that kind of defense. Questions still may be raised if they've got the offense that can be the state powerhouse that they're looking to be, but 10-0, that's not a bad mark.
So you know that they've got a good football team. Let's take a look now at our final statistics in this ball game. And rushing yardage, 159 to 191. Skyline 159, Longmont 151. First downs, 8 for Skyline, 15 for Longmont. Passing, 24 yards for Skyline. Longmont had 107 yards. Total yardage, 183 to 298. And the passing attempts were 4 of 20 for Skyline, 7 of 18 for Longmont. So not a real good passing game overall. Longmont obviously trying to work on their pass somewhat. The turnovers even at 2, and the penalties 5 for 39 for Skyline, 5 for 56 for the Longmont Trojans. So as you know, you look at this game, really in many ways, you look at the total numbers, 183 to 298. Yeah, Longmont did get over 100 yards more, but it was a good effort out of Skyline, but not quite enough on offense.
Well, the offensive, they really struggled on that side of the ball. Defensively, the Trojans shut them down pretty well. The first half, the Trojan running game was really on the mark, and that's where most of the yardage for the Trojans came. The second half of the game was pretty much up and down the field with not a lot of scoring, both teams showing their defensive power.
And our player of the game is number 81. That's Aaron Garcia of Longmont. And let's look at the numbers that Aaron had.
Well, Aaron had 19 carries, 112 yards, and a touchdown. He ran the off-tackle play with pretty good success today, and the Trojans really won the battle at the point of the line of scrimmage.
And that's the place, both Greg and I, we love that because that's where, you know, games are won at the point of attack. Well, we do have a final in from Dutch Clark Stadium down in Pueblo. Pueblo Centennial has defeated Pueblo South. That means right here next week, the Longmont Trojans will host Pueblo Centennial in the first round of the playoffs, and we will have them right here on Longmont Channel 3. So we're very happy about that, and that will be our first round playoff game. So that'll wrap things up here from Everly Montgomery Field. I'm Michael Rail. This is Greg Herman. Jeff Pfeiffer is around here somewhere, and the rest of the Channel 3 crew. We love them all, despite the fact, you know, they're a Channel 3 crew. We'll have a great weekend, everyone. Come on back and watch this game and the playoffs for the best high school action everywhere. The IBM Game of the Week. Longmont goes out undefeated, 10-0.